What's your source?
What do you mean? I just looked it up. Just go and look up on the internet. She'll bring up an interview of her saying that. Just go and look it up.
What do you specifically want me to look up?
Just look up Kamala on X. Kamala's opinion on X, on Twitter, on what she thinks on that. Look it up. She's going to say right there, it's going to say that she believes that it's not moderated, this and that, and people need to be, freedom of speech needs to go away. Like, how do you feel about that?
The closest thing I could find is her calling for Trump to be.
All right, no. If you're not gonna listen, I agree. Okay, whatever. All right.
No, don't leave again, Dirty Dan. You're just lying.
No, I'm just saying. Okay, whatever. Like, since you can't.
I'm looking for a source. How about this? All right, you go on pause. You find your immediate source.
I want
to put it out there. Right, this is a big fat lie. There's no evidence for this claim.
I just watched so much over it. Okay. All right. I got you. I'll go get it real quick.
Find your source. For everyone out there that is curious, I'm pretty sure he's talking about the fact that a judge from the Brazilian government just banned Twitter in Brazil. He's probably confusing those two things. While he's looking for that source, we're going to go to get another guest up here as well. So let's go and get Eve up in the box. Yo, Dirty Dan is lost, chat. Where is Dirty Dan? He is lost. He has no fucking clue where he is or what the hell he's doing.
Hey, how are you going to talk shit when I leave for 5 seconds to go and find that? That's all Kamala. Bro, that's all you fucking faggots, bro. That's every single one of you fucking fags.
Oh my god, and of course he slurs. I apologize for his use of slurs, chat. Dirty Dan is a wreck. He says a quiet part out loud. I apologize for use of slurs, guys. What's up, Eva? Are you voting for Trump? Okay, Eva's not here, so we're gonna move on to our next guest, Dirty Dan. That's a MAGA script. Like, low key, dude, that is a MAGA script. They come up here, they make a claim, it gets disputed because it's false, and then they slur. Yeah, L is in the chat. What's up? Are you voting for Trump? All right, Gina's not here. We're going to move on to our next guest, guys. If you're MAGA, make sure to let me know in that chat. That really, caught me out from left field. I didn't expect him to do that. I really didn't expect him to do that. That really caught me off guard. What's up, Jaden? Are you driving?
How's it going, man? I'm honestly neither side.
All right. Well, I hope that you come to the right side, or more so, the left side. Let's go and get our next guest up in here, guys. Make sure if you are in the queue that you are voting for Trump. We are going to go ahead and get our next debate underway literally right now. So everyone just, give us a minute. All right, we are having some issues getting our next debate going, so everyone just to be patient. Clint TX, I got you with an invite up. We're going to try to get our next guest up in the box literally right now, guys. But don't forget, keep double tapping, keep sharing, keep spamming. We want the live to blow up. What's up, Clint? Are you voting for Trump?
Of course.
Okay, now why in the hell would you be doing that?
Well, why in the hell?
Yeah. Like, what do you want the fascist dictator?
No, you said in the hell. Are you referring to our country as being hell?
No. That was a metaphor of speech, right? Basically me, right, exalting the fact that I'm surprised insofar as why anyone would vote for Trump. Now, that aside, why are you voting for Trump? Well, Blake, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate you for the
voting for the other side is totally untenable. I mean, it really just comes down to rules and values. I mean, that's what it is for everybody, right?
So voting.
You value different things than I do. I don't give a shit about Trump or Harris. I don't care about the people. What I care is about the direction of the country.
Ollie, thank you for the subscription. So you think that voting for the intelligent woman who wants to protect and preserve a democracy and fight for the freedoms of all, fight for tax cuts for 100 million American workers in the low and middle class is untenable, but then voting for the fascist dictator on day one that has already attempted to overthrow our government and rig an election, stealing it from Biden in 2020, that it's also raped women, sexualized little girls, and been racist and misogynistic. That's tenable?
Bravo, man. Bravo. Fantastic talking points. I appreciate the... It's like you're a rapper that's got these lyrics that just spew out. It's incredible. I mean, you've done this a lot. It's impressive.
So you know that I've gone over these points a lot, meaning you've watched my streams a lot, meaning you've watched the rebuttals to these claims a lot, yet you don't have one.
No, I mean, it's just a waste of time. It's total waste of time to go back and forth about the people. It's really not about the people.
It's a total waste of time to defend your worldview. Then why the hell are you?
No. It's like, no. I'm not going to defend Trump. And I'm certainly not going to ask you to defend Harris. I mean, their records are, lots of holes in them, obviously.
So why specifically are you voting for Trump?
Because I want the country to go in a different direction than what Harris would like for it to go.
Okay, right. So what direction do you want to go in the country to go in, and how's this reflected through Trump?
I'd like to have more sanity. I mean, I'd like to have more sanity in regards to law enforcement. I'd like to have more sanity in regards to, implementing and executing the laws as they're on the books in regards to the border and everything the heck else.
sanity in regards to law enforcement. So Trump actually said he wants to pardon, right, some of the violent criminals that have been convicted of like assaulting the 140 police officers that were assaulted on January 6th.
That's just absolutely false. I would love to see, you're always asking for receipts. I'd love to see a receipt about how he wants to pardon people who committed violent assault against police officers on J6. Could you please give me the specifics of that case?
Yeah, so that's specifically going to be from the National Convention of Black Journalists, where it's specifically the interviewer had asked him, right, if he would like pardon, right, some of the violent offenders that were convicted.
No. Some. Wait, hold on. I want to know a case. I want to know a specific instance that he said he would pardon someone who fought a police officer on that day. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, so the interviewer didn't ask the question in regards to like specific people. It was more so the people that were convicted of like specifically.
Bad interviewer. Yeah,
the interviewer
for
from the national. The interviewer from the National Convention of Black.
Oh, you mean where Trump showed up and Harris didn't? Is that what the time you're talking about?
Trump showed up to the National Convention of Black Journalists and Harris didn't? Yeah, I'm talking about that time. So specifically,
she was busy with a sorority, I think, event, much smaller event. I think she just wanted to avoid any hard questions.
So now you're just absolutely bypassing my point here, not responding.
No. I'm asking for a case. I'd like a source. I'd like to know the name.
I gave you the source. I literally gave you the source.
I want to know the name of the person that Trump said he would pardon that fought a police officer and caused physical harm to that police officer. Not somebody down to someone who's trespassing. That's a grandmother. Not somebody who stepped foot inside of the Capitol on that day. I'm talking about someone who fought a police officer.
Yeah. So, like, once again, the question that was specifically asked of him is if he would pardon individuals that were convicted of assaulting police officers.
No. There was not. Assault is not in the question for sure.
It was.
No, it was not. Listen, bro. You can do this to other non-informed people, but you can't do it to me, bro. I mean, you might as well just go ahead and kick me now, because this ain't gonna stop.
I just want to clarify that it is the question that the journalist
just
asked.
Go ahead and kick me now, because it's just ridiculous that you would make the assertion that he wants to. I mean, he's all about law enforcement. You think he wants to pardon someone who fought someone in law enforcement and caused them physical harm? That's what you want.
Yeah. No, isn't that crazy? Okay. This is what Trump said.
So
1 second. Let me speak here without interruption.
Let me.
Hey, buddy. Let me speak here without interruption.
No. Okay? For or against no cash bail.
Okay. So is this what you're gonna do? You're just gonna gish gallop, trying to overspeak me to not allow me a chance to speak? So I want to
turn California into a hellscape.
Hey, first of all, buddy, I'm trying to have a productive two-way conversation with you.
Let's do it.
I don't have to mute you to get my point across. Am I gonna have to mute you to get my point across?
No.
Or are you gonna act like a respectful
ahead,
adult? Lee, thank you so much for the $30 on Venmo saying keep up the good work. I really appreciate you for the love. Let's get some W's for Lee in the chat for the $30 on Venmo. Thank you so much. Okay, so once again, am I gonna have to mute you to get my point across?
No, you go right ahead.
Phenomenal. So once again, at the National Convention of Black Journalists, the specific journalist who was asking him and interviewing him on stage had asked him if he would consider pardoning, right, the individuals that were convicted of violent crimes such as assault on police officers. The interviewer even specifically noted, right, the fact that the police officers had their eyes gouged out, their backs broken, their spines broken, their legs broken, and Trump said, yes. And then 2 weeks later at Mar-a-Lago, he also specifically talked about how the rioters have been treated unfairly by the media. That's a fact. Then how can you say that Trump is pro? Yes. How can you say that Trump is pro law enforcement when he has demonized our criminal justice system, decreasing public trust and faith in it by his absolute denial of all the criminal justice systems and the courts that have been coming after him for doing bad, illegal things? No response. Melissa, I appreciate you for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the
for or against no cash bail in California?
I have no clue. So do you
she was all about no cash bail in California, right?
So this is the pivot.
No, I just want to know. I mean, we're talking about. I mean, first of all, the J6 stuff is nonsense. Show me a non-trespassing case, and I'll listen. I'm not going to listen to anyone who walked on tour inside the Capitol. You know, they let go of the MAGA shaman. Why did they let him go? Why would?
I feel like you're wasting my time, and the reason I feel like you're wasting my time is because the interviewer made it explicitly clear, right, talking about the people who were convicted of assaulting. 1 second.
I just want to know.
Made it explicitly clear that he wanted to pardon the individuals without interruption. He wanted to pardon the individuals that were convicted of assault on cops. You seemingly are disregarding that point, right? And then my second point.
Bro, you have no substance. You have talking points with no substance. Where's the depth, man? Come on, man. Grow up a little bit.
I would like to clarify that.
I'm talking about people that were charged with trespassing.
Yeah.
People that were charged with trespassing. Are you in favor of people
Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it once again, right? There is depth, there is substance. You're just kind of saying not denying it. So I'm gonna clarify once again, Clint, right? I need you to stop acting in such bad faith, right? So the interviewer at the National Convention of Black Journalists had asked Trump if he would consider pardoning individuals that were convicted in a criminal court of not trespassing, but rather assaulting police officers, and he said yes, right? That's the point that you're not acknowledging. The interviewer made it explicitly clear in the question that she was asking, right, if he would pardon individuals that were convicted of assault, not of trespassing. Second of all, right, another point that you seemingly disregarded is how can you say that the Republican platform and Trump are pro-law enforcement when Trump has decreased public faith and trust in our criminal justice system? The civil court that came after him for grape, he throws it out the window, says it was Biden manipulating the DOJ. The criminal court that came after him for 34 felonies, say that it's manipulated by the Democrats. And that actually erodes public trust in our law enforcement because they enforce the law. They send people to court and they're then convicted or held liable for their crimes, right? It erodes trust in those systems. And this is why the Republican mayor of Mesa in Arizona is supporting Kamala Harris instead of Trump in this election. And one of the main reasons he gave was that he erodes trust in our law enforcement agencies and in our criminal justice system.
Bravo, man, what a beautiful soliloquy there. Bravo.
Soria, I appreciate you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Soria. Thank you so much.
Keep it coming, man. Keep those donations coming for all this, man. This is amazing talking.
Melissa with the $10 as well. W's for Melissa in the chat saying happy birthday, Dean. Love your life. Clint is weird. I appreciate
somebody
you.
Somebody bust out 100. Can I get a C note for my man here? Let's go. Listen. Bro, it's just so disingenuous, my man. I mean, do you agree with people that were charged?
Now even you've lost the plot. Now even did he just get fucking raptured? Did Clint just get fucking raptured? Where'd he go, bro? He just got fucking raptured, dude. Crazy. All right, see you later, buddy. What's going on, man? Are you voting for Trump?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yo, Brenda, holy shit, Brenda, thank you for the $100 on Venmo. What is going on, Brenda? Thank you for the $100 on Venmo. That is insane. Hey, thank you for the love, bro. 1 second, I'm thinking a donor. Thank you so much for the $100 on Venmo, Brenda. I want to see at least 1,000 W's in the chat for Brenda and Soria. Thank you for the $10 on Venmo as well. Massive W's for Brenda and Soria. Thank you guys so much for the love and for your donations. That is insane. Thank you so much. That is fucking nuts. Thank you, Brenda. W's down below. Anyways, Boggy, are you voting for Trump?
Brenda. Yeah, so first and foremost, I've seen how, this is my first time on your stream, so right on bringing the political conversation to a media platform with people, where it's people talking about it. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm voting for Trump. And then I just want to reiterate before we get into it. Why am I voting fiscal policy? And it's not really to favor of a bunch of people, which is something I'd say a libertarian democracy would right? But it's more to the fact that this would probably change pretty much the social dynamic and then the legislative dynamic of the entire fucking country. To give you perspective, if you look at his campaign website and I day trade on the side and I pretty much know what's going on with interest rates, PCI data, CPI data, everything going on with our economy. Pretty much the spending going on with Biden and all this aid, yes, it grows our sphere of influence and it does help us out in comparison to China's Silk Road and whatnot. But if you really think about it, it's that's money that could be going to these so-called people breaking in houses who need money, right? That could be going to people in our country. I'm paying taxes. Gavin Newsom in California is going to charge 4 cents per mile, not per gas, per mile. He's charging gas mileage. No, he's literally charging mileage now, and that's crazy.
So you made 2 points about fiscal policy here.
No, I'm about to go. I haven't even made my point about fiscal policy. He's gonna reset the gold standard. He's gonna reset debt. He's gonna get rid of the IRS. He's gonna do all these things. So. And you already know that Republicans don't really like government, and they don't like government limitations.
Do you mind if I ask you a question here?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so you said that the Biden-Harris administration has spent a lot of money when it could have been going to the American people. You also referenced aid. So the aid that we've sent to Ukraine wasn't spending more money, it was reallocation of the DoD budget. But they specifically have signed in massive, monumental pieces of legislation that benefited the low and middle class, right? More
Yes,
than the
they
top
have.
1%.
Agreed.
Well,
Agreed.
One minute.
Go ahead. My bad. Actually, my bad. Yeah. That's
And
my
also,
bad.
we want to reference government spending. There's twice as much spent in debt. There's twice as much spent in debt-related spending under Trump's administration in comparison to Biden and Harris's. $8.4 trillion under Trump, $4.6 trillion under Biden and Harris. Second of all, I can name 4 policies influenced to get passed by the Biden-Harris administration that benefited the low and middle class more so than rich people. Right. Particularly the PACT Act, the Infrastructure Bill, the Chips and Science Act, the American Rescue Plan, and as well as the Inflation Reduction Act. Can you name one piece of legislation influenced to get passed by Trump's administration that benefited the low and the middle class more than rich people?
Right on. That's awesome. That's great that our country is doing something for people.
Karen, thank you for the $5 on PayPal.
Like it always does, right? So I'll give you some perspective. My dad's on like.
1 second. Can you answer my question?
You listed facts. You didn't really give me a question.
The question was, can you name one policy influenced to get passed by Trump when he was president that benefited the low and the middle class more than it benefited rich people?
Let me think about that. You're gonna make me stutter because I'm not versed in politics. I'm versed in finance. I shit you not.
Oh, so you'd say that something bad that the Biden-Harris administration has done is not it's not spending money on the people, not better making the low and the middle class better off.
Yes,
but meanwhile, I can name 4 bills that predominantly benefited the low and middle
ahead.
class when you can name one under Trump's administration.
Go ahead.
Crazy.
Bro, Trump has done multiple things for the black community. He showed up to that freaking convention, and by the way, I am part black. And my dad's on the fucking Democratic administration, and he sees Biden every fucking month. He doesn't like how I'm Republican, but he also doesn't understand the fact he's spending $150,000 in taxes this year compared to previous years is simply because of the administration he's on.
Hey, buddy, we're still under Trump's tax code. If you're paying more in taxes now, that's because of Trump's tax code.
No, that's probably because of the increased spending in our GDP.
We actually have had a decrease in debt-related spending from our administration.
That's
Trump's
debt
administration
spending. That's
spent
debt
twice as
spending.
much.
That's not money we're making, bro. There's a thing called a balance sheet and an income statement. You can probably look at that shit from our government. That's debt. Debt is never gonna be fucking like it's gonna
There's
continue
a decrease
to grow.
in debt-related spending.
Bro, there's oh my god. No, it's good. It's good. I love you bringing the conversation here. I love that you're doing all this stuff, right?
What the fuck is going on?
Moreover, bro, what do you mean what is going on? I'm trying to explain to you that like you're concerned about all this stuff on like how yes, there's going to be a completely larger wealth inequity gap, and I'm saying that's favoritism towards me, bud. Like what? Let me explain this. Our country is safe because of debt. Why are we going to attack another country that owes us a few trillion? No. As soon as he makes sure it's like, okay, we're going to get rid of debt, this dude can attack whoever the fuck he wants.
Okay.
Moreover,
I'm really confused because you're all over the place.
Let me finish. That's going to get rid of taxes on corporations. That's going to renew companies' fucking credit state, like their credit history. They're going to be able to get more money. I'm basically saying that there's going to be a shift from this government you see, and under his fiscal policy, it's going to be more corporate. And that's favoritism towards the fact that I'm probably not going to pay taxes by the time I'm my father's age.
Okay, so yeah, Trump's tax plan is to get rid of.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
One second.
Yeah, no, I'm about to say educate me because like I don't pay attention like you.
Is to get rid of the federal tax income and to replace it with tariffs. So that will destroy, right, the low and the middle class, and that will destroy American-owned businesses by reducing exports. And it will cause insane levels of inflation.
I can argue something about, so like that tariff thing, like, dude, I'm learning a lot, right? Like you're telling me all this policy, great. That's more information for my fucking trading, whatnot, whatever. Like these tariffs, yeah, sure, it could destroy, like whatever. That's opinionated. We could probably look up some more educated.
No, it's not opinionated, right? Historically speaking, when we've increased taxes on, when we've increased tariffs on China, it's reduced agricultural exports here at home in the U.S. And when Trump introduced his tariffs on China, it destroyed American farmers, causing them to go bankrupt, which then made Trump sign $28 billion in for a bailout for American farmers. Right. Second of all, would you ever vote for someone that's been held civilly liable for like a violent sexual offense such as rape?
Civilly liable is not convicted. I know many. Let me give some context. My dad helps African American communities get out of cyclical urban gun violence, and they do this in a stipend form, where they pay people who were active shooters to not shoot by giving them like a life plan, by helping them renew Social Security, renew like their fucking.
So
passport,
what's the difference between a civil and a criminal?
I'm basically saying. There's a difference between condemning someone who hasn't been condemned or continuing to condemn someone who has been condemned.
What's the difference between a civil and a criminal court?
A civil and criminal court. There are multiple courts. There are federal. Dude, what are you trying to argue? Civil is civil matter. Criminal is when you're doing like criminal shit. Yeah. Okay. Like I'll give you an example. I'll give you a fucking example. Domestic.
For the grape of an adult woman.
Civilly liable. Okay. Say, God forbid. Bro, I'm voting for the bruh. If you're gonna bring up his criminal history, sure.
Would you still vote for Trump?
The answer is fucking yes, bro. It's yes.
Would you still vote for Trump if he was held civilly liable for the grape of a little girl?
Fuck no. That's a very big different statement. A little girl.
Okay, well, what's the difference between those two instances? Right? It's seemingly just the age of the victim.
Dude. Okay, then let's argue fucking let's argue criminal history. What's the difference between statutory rape and rape? The fuck?
I mean, I could tell you, right? Like one would apply insofar as like individuals under the age of like 18 when they engage in intercourse with one another.
Right. There's no consent at that age.
I don't see what the point of that is. I'm asking you what the difference is. You said that you would vote for Trump if he was held civilly liable.
If he's civilly liable.
Bro, one second, let me finish. Hey, fuck,
go ahead.
Let me finish. You said you would vote for Trump if he was held civilly liable for the grape of an adult woman, but you wouldn't vote for Trump if he was held civilly liable for the grape of a little girl. So why specifically would you in one
civilly
circumstance
liable?
Is
he convicted? I'll give you a question. Was he convicted?
He was not convicted in a criminal court. He was held liable in a civil court.
Thank you. Okay, so he wasn't convicted. Point over. Argument over. That's it. He wasn't convicted.
So what's the difference between a conviction and a liability claim?
The fact that there's an innocent person who's not in jail for a few years.
So he wasn't convicted to jail time. He was held financially responsible and was ordered to pay her $87 million.
Bro, I don't even know which person.
So I'm still waiting for you to answer my question. So
I said yes. I already said yes. Are you listening, brother?
You are not listening because the question I'm asking you here, right, is you said that you would vote for him if he was held civilly liable for the grape of an adult woman, but you wouldn't vote for him if he was held civilly liable for the grape of a little girl. Why would you vote for him?
If he's convicted, I'm not voting for him. If he's convicted, I'm not voting for him.
So if Donald Trump was held civilly liable, not convicted, but held civilly liable for the grape of a little girl, would you still vote for him?
Dude, civil liability has nothing to do with anything.
Would you vote for him if he was held civilly liable for the grape of a little girl? Yes or no?
Bro. Oh my God, that's a very
yes or no.
You're framing, dude. No.
No. Yeah. So why would you say? Why would you say that you?
Kid, bro.
Why would you say? Oh, so are you saying that raping an adult woman isn't bad enough, but raping a little girl is?
You're gonna play the moral game on me. Great. You're gonna shift gears towards.
Answer the question. Why do you hold a different standard, right? In these two civil court
there's a very big difference. There's a very big difference because a child cognitively. Okay, a child cannot cognitively come up with some story that can make up all this bullshit. A child's gonna be straight to the fucking fact. You can't really refute a child saying, "Oh, this person did this," but you can probably refute a grown-ass fucking woman who has her whole entire fucking prefrontal cortex with all this, knowing that this is let's look at the wealth and equity gap between this person and him.
So you're saying that the adult woman is more likely to lie, but both of these claims would have been proven in a civil court of law, meaning they would have met the same threshold of a preponderance of evidence to suggest that the events have occurred.
They met the same threshold of this guy's only gonna be civilly liable, bro.
So I'm still talking without interruption.
My bad. But you're insulting, man. I've never called you a fuck or said you were retarded yet, right?
Oh my God. I'm saying, of course he slurs. I apologize for his use of slurs, chat. What is going on with the guest today? What the hell is going on with the guest today? This is rough, bro. This is rough. Testing my patience, bro. Testing my patience. And of course he slurs. That's the MAGA script, guys. It plays out over and over and over again. What is wrong with people for real? We're going to go and get our next guest up in the box right now. If you are voting for Trump, make sure to open that queue, guys. Let's go and get our next guest up right now. We got Min Talk loading in. Yo, Danielle, thank you so much for the Venmo. Please read my message this time. I'll go ahead and pull it up on my computer. What's going on, Mintalk? How old are you? Hello? Do better explaining civil court. For sure, Danielle, I got you. Mintalk, hi, are you here? Okay, Mintalk is not here, so we are going to move on to our next guest, Joey. If you are MAGA, make sure to let me know in that chat. We're still just looking for our next guest. Everyone just give us a minute here. What's up, Joey? Are you voting for Trump? Hello? Okay, I guess not. We're going to move on to our next guest. Someone in the chat says that I had to block that last guest because he was giving me a run for my money. No, I removed him because he slurred. We're going to move on to our next guest. Let's go and see what Ben J has to say. Danielle, thank you for another $2 saying thank you, of course. All right, we're looking for our next guest. Everyone be patient. I don't know, dude. I don't know what's going on today. Our streams are getting limited. No one's coming up in the box and debating. This just isn't that much fun, bro. We might even have to do another restart. What's up? Are you voting for Trump?
Yes, I am.
You're driving, man. I can't talk to you, unfortunately. That violates TikTok TOS. We are going to go ahead and get our next guest, Isaiah, up in the box. We may even have to do like a fourth and final restart to see if it sends us out. What's up, Isaiah?
Dean the dumbass. Dean the dumbass.
How many continents are there? Isaiah the dumbass. Isaiah the dumbass. Cute. All right, moving on to our next guest. Okay, awesome. Yeah, we need to do another restart, chat. For the 2.6 thousand people in here, this is going to be the last restart of the day. If the live doesn't send out, well, then it is what it is. But hopefully we'll be able to get the live to send out. So for everyone in here, just give us 1 minute. We're going to go ahead and do another restart here. Make sure to come right back into the stream. Hit that follow button. I'll be right back, chat. Second of all, it was denied because it was a shitty plan. And then third of all, if you want to talk about shooting down congressional legislation on the border, how about we talk about the fact that Trump shot down a bipartisan border bill in 2023 that would have ended the crisis, and it was drafted by a Republican because he wanted the crisis to continue so he could campaign on it today.
I mean, he should. Who wants a Democrat in office? You guys are terrible for us. I mean,
you haven't been able to tell me how. You just throwing words
I will tell you how right now. Let's talk about the 44% capital gains and the 25% for unrealized gains, right? You want to talk about this?
Who do those apply to?
The people with 100 million plus.
Oh, yeah. So like less than 28,000 people worldwide.
So let's break it down to you, though.
Right.
Those are the people who put the jobs in our economy, Dean. If they leave because they don't like that policy, we're all screwed. I hope you know that.
So taxing corporations and business owners more causes there to be less jobs for Americans.
Yes!
Then explain to me why.
I'll explain it to you right now.
The lowest rate of unemployment that we've had in like the 1960s and 70s was also in tangent to a 35% corporate tax rate.
It doesn't matter.
The
We're living in a
best
different
era
age.
of employment that we've had here at home in the U.S. was accompanied by one of the highest corporate tax rates that we've ever had. Not to mention, trickle-down economics is a complete, total failure that doesn't work. Name me one point in history where trickle-down economics has worked.
Here's the thing. You guys' policies are not going to work.
Name one point in history where trickle-down economics has worked.
This might be the point in history where it does not work.
Oh, so right now is when it works. Wait, I thought that you were complaining about inflation. I thought that you were complaining about a worse off lower middle class. I thought that you were complaining about importing oil. I thought that you were complaining about all these issues with our economy, but in the same time, you're saying that trickle-down economics is working right now? Trickle-down economics has never worked. Specifically speaking, after the introduction of trickle-down economics in the 80s, we saw that worker wages remained stagnant with an increase in worker productivity, when prior we saw an increase in worker wages with an increase in worker productivity. Trickle-down economics is a plan developed by the rich man for the rich man. Okay, it's to keep themselves richer.
My friend,
and it worsens off the low and the middle class, and that's a fact.
Here's the answer for you guys. Here's the answer for the people in the back if you want to know. The answer is to manage the tax money better, stop sending all that money over to Ukraine and other countries, and it is to decrease the tax for the middle class and the corporations. When you do that, you'll have a functioning economy. When you do that, you have the middle class. They'll have more money to go spend on groceries. And you'll have the corporations. They don't have to spend as much money on tax, so they'll lower their prices. When you have that,
why are we
can drop
sending
inflation,
funds to Ukraine?
and we can put more jobs in the economy because the consumer wants to pay more.
Fund to Ukraine?
We have a Sovereignty Peace Act. I understand. But
we
here's
have
the
a
thing.
denuclearization agreement with them signed in the 1990s stating if they get invaded, we defend them. And second of all, that wasn't new government spending. That was a reallocation of money from our defense fund, right? Just like Trump did with the wall.
Okay, well, let me add on top of that for you. That's fine. I don't think it's wrong that we're supporting Ukraine. I think
You just said it was wrong. You just said
Hold
that's
on.
something
Let
we
me
need to
finish,
stop
let me
doing.
finish, let me
So we
finish.
need to stop doing something
Let me
that's good.
finish, Dean. Let me finish. Hold on. I think the time period, the point in time at which we're supporting Ukraine, at the extent at which we are, is terrible. We just got out of COVID. It's not time to be sending our taxpayer money over to a different country if it's not benefiting us financially. I hope you understand this. We just got out of COVID. That was devastating for us.
Okay, so the Biden-Harris administration has actually signed some of the most monumental legislation out of any modern U.S. Presidency to make the American people better off, right? We could talk about the PACT Act, investing $800 million into the expansion of VA healthcare benefit. We could talk about the Chips and Science Act that has invested billions of dollars into chip producers here at home in the U.S., insofar as the idea that we'll be producing 20% of the global chip supply by 2030. We could talk about the Inflation Reduction Act, the biggest investment in renewable energy resources ever, WMOC for the sub, thank you, right, to address supply chain issues now, to reduce inflation in the long term. We could talk about the infrastructure bill, investing $1 trillion into local communities across the U.S. to spur their local economies and to create new construction jobs. All four of these policies benefited the low and the middle class more than they benefited rich people. Can you name one policy influenced to get passed by Trump during his administration that benefited the low and the middle class more than it benefited rich people?
Sure. We won't name a policy, but I'm pretty sure that Trump signed the bill for PPP to be provided to the middle class, and it worked.
Name the policy, buddy.
It doesn't have to be a policy. As long
Name
as
the policy. You can't name the policy. It does not have
to be a policy, Dean. As long as it helps the community. As long as it helps the community. Hey, my friend, we're in 2024. Policies, what did you talk about? 1966? We work off technology and plans now. You talk about 1966 stuff. Anybody still talking about a policy we need to teleport you back to 100 years ago. You need to go back to the Middle Stone Ages. We're not talking about policy no more. We're talking about technology. What plans do you have? Do you understand, my friend? Do you understand?
How does the presidency change your life? How do they do it? Through what?
Not through policies, and that's the only thing you guys are relying on to win.
Through policy.
No,
through fucking policy.
Not in today's age. The countries around us have got stronger, and guess what? They're disobeying your Democratic Party. They say, hey, we're not going to abide by the trade regulations. They're not going to do shit. They're too busy funding a useless proxy war in Ukraine. They got 1/3 of their soldiers over in the Middle East. They finna go to war with Iran when Israel is the one who's initiating all of the contact. I mean, you guys are completely... you guys are in over your head, and Kamala especially is in over her head. Let me ask you this, Dean. Are you confident in the United States right now? Is the United States a fraction of what it used to be right now?
Okay, all right. So yeah, I think that the Biden-Harris administration has, unironically been one of the best presidencies we've ever had. They have fought for the low and the middle class. They've fought to reduce income inequities. They've fought for marginalized communities. They've fought against the tyrannical dictatorship offered by Donald Trump. They fought for individual liberties and freedoms. They fought to protect and uphold our Constitution and our democracy and our civil and electoral processes and our checks and balances. I'm confident that we are heading in the right direction. We just need to keep that progress going, and we keep that progress going by voting for Harris. Vote for Harris to ensure federal protections for women's access to healthcare. Vote for Harris to ensure tax cuts for the 100 million American workers that need it the most. Vote for Harris to ensure that the rich people don't continue to get richer at the expense of the low and middle class. Vote for Harris to ensure that our democracy is protected. Vote for Harris to keep the rapist, felon, and wannabe dictator on day one fascist that has committed 34 felonies, that has denied the outcomes of the election of 2020 without sufficient reason, and literally tried to steal the election from Biden out of office forever, right?
So
I am confident.
Kamala Harris or the Democratic Party?
Tammy, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo.
Barry,
thank you so much for the love.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting.
So I have a question for you. He's a good guy, guys.
He's a good guy.
Would you ever vote for someone that has been held? Wait, I want to ask you another question. Do you think that violent sexual offenders should be able to buy and own guns?
No, ask the first question. We want to ask.
So violent sexual offenders shouldn't be able to buy and own guns. Trump is a violent sexual offender, so he shouldn't be able to buy a gun, but he should be able to
This is hypothetical. And it was in 1990. I mean, what are you talking about? Okay, let's ask.
If Trump raped a little girl in the 1990s, would you still vote for him?
They want to win the debate so bad. Let me get on them, guys. Dean, did Vikings grape women? Did Vikings grape women? I'm asking you that.
Yes.
Okay, so Vikings graped women, but they still conquered. They murdered thousands of people, but they still conquered. Even that had no effect on a Viking's ability to conquer. So when you're trying to bring up this one civil court, this one civil court and act
Hannah,
like
thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal to finish him. I will do that right now. Thank you for the $10, Hannah. I'm about to finish him.
The
How did
moral of the
Vikings
story
conquer?
is you bringing up what Trump did and graped hypothetically, like I said, it has no effect on him running the country at such a high level. It does not.
Hey,
and
Clinton,
go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
how did the Vikings conquer?
By slaughtering.
Nathaniel, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Wish I could live in such blissful ignorance like this guy. Let's get some W's in the comment section for Nathan. And Catherine, thank you for the $20 on PayPal for All Women SA. Thank you so much, Nathan and Catherine. Massive W's in the chat for Nathan and Catherine. Thank you guys so much.
W's in the comment section for Tayton, guys. W's in the comment section for Tayton.
Hey, buddy. So how did the Vikings conquer?
Listen, they did not conquer by graping women, but the point is they graped women and they were still very successful.
Raymond, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo saying kick him. He's an MLM grifter. And Sin with the $5 on Venmo for dealing with insufferable Trump supporters. Are you?
But do you agree, Dean? Do you agree? Do you agree? The Vikings, they graped women. They did horrible things, but they were still successful in everything they did.
Yeah, and the Third Reich and the Nazi regime almost took over the entirety of Europe. And what did they do? How did they almost take over?
They were
the
not
entirety of
successful.
Europe? How did they conquer? See, that's the question that we need to be asking here.
That was a genocide.
One second. The question here is, how does Trump expect to conquer? How does Trump expect to hold power? How does Trump expect to influence the country? Right. It is not through bringing the American people together. It is not through bringing Congress together. It is not through pushing America into an era of peace and tranquility. It is through the oppression and the dissemination of already marginalized groups of America. It is through self-service. It is not through public service, and it is through the self-interested, privation of a care for others. And that is what we need to make. That is what we need to consider here. Trump is willing to take advantage of nearly any single scenario to manipulate it to serve to himself, even if it would be lying and lead to a misinformed electorate base. He denied the outcomes of the 2020 election because he wanted to remain our president, and then tried to rig the outcome of that vote, even though Joe Biden had won. And then you're going to come up here and tell me that you want to vote for this guy because you think he's a good leader that will lead America into the next golden era? No, this guy is a fascist. This guy is dictator. Wants to be the dictator on day one. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about your voice. He doesn't care about your vote. He's just willing to do whatever is necessary to stay in the limelight for another 4 years.
Let me say two things. First, we proved Georgia was rigged. We proved you guys threw out 1 million voters. Hold on. Let me say another thing. What did your world leaders say to Putin? What did your world leaders say to Kim Jong-un? But we're the one who don't want to be peaceful. They said, we're going to stand up to Putin. We're going to stand up to Kim Jong-un. What? Excuse me?
So you think who
are they talking for?
So
They're
allowing
not talking for
Russian
our soldiers, though. They're not talking for our soldiers.
Allowing Russian expansion is peaceful. Nice. Real quick, you said that there's been widespread voter fraud proved in Georgia. Can you give me that proof?
Well, let's search it up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's do that. In the meantime, Gabriella, thank you so much for the $20 and the 24 cents on Venmo, saying cleaning out the pigsty. Of course, Gabriella. Thank you so much for the $20 and the 24 cents. I really appreciate you for the love. Massive W's in the chat.
Georgia
thank you so
election
much for the love.
officials withheld evidence in voting. Ooh, voting machine breach group alleges.
Joseph, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal. This guy's nuts. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you for the love, Joseph. Go ahead.
No, guys, you don't even realize Dean is a Republican. We're going to convert him so easily. I mean, he's a good guy. He's not a bad guy. But we're going to... You guys, everybody in here, you're a Republican. You're not a Democrat. I'm just telling you now. Anyways, let's just read. Georgia-based nonprofit that is suing the Coffee County, Georgia Board of Elections over an alleged breach of voting software weeks before President Joe Biden was sworn into office is asking a judge to sanction officials involved in the case, saying in new court filings that they repeatedly stonewalled and withheld crucial evidence during discovery. Oh my God. Here we go. Let's keep reading. The Coffee County breach, part of a multi-pronged effort by the Trump campaign and affiliated lawyers to identify evidence of hacking or election fraud in the wake of losing the 2020 presidential election, is considered one of the most serious breaches of voting equipment in recent memory. Oh, Lord have mercy. You little dictators. You little dictators calling us dictators, but who's abusing
I appreciate you for the $1 on Venmo. So your evidence for election fraud is what Trump's Electoral Integrity Committee said.
Let's get them, guys. Hey,
so I'm gonna go clarify.
Hold on, Dean. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna let you talk. I swear to God.
I'm gonna go and continue to talk. I'm gonna go ahead and continue to talk. Thank you.
Your
So,
proof
you're-
for Trump
you're
being
talking
a
about-
rapist is the manufactured felonies by your party. Boom, got him, got him.
So first of all, Tayton, right? He wasn't proved to have raped a woman in a criminal court and was served with a felony for it. Second of all, I bet earlier you couldn't even tell me what his 34 felonies were for, yet you insisted they were manufactured because you engaged in conspiratorial hearsay and you can tort reality to fit your narrative. And then fourth of all, right? You just specifically said that Trump's election integrity committee, right, and their allegations of widespread voter fraud was your proof for voter fraud. Well, you know what they did? He took all the evidence that this multi-million-dollar funded election integrity committee that he found. He took it to 63 courts, including 34 courts with Republican-appointed judges and 17 courts with Trump-appointed judges, and he tried to argue to all of them that the election had been stolen from him. And you know what they all did? They threw it out because he didn't have enough evidence to justify his claim.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to
Yeah, you're really cooking, little bro. Kelly, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. Let's get some W's in the chat for Kelly. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the love, Kelly. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Your leaders, they have no diplomacy.
Joseph for the $10 as well. I appreciate you so much, Joseph. W's for Joseph and Kelly.
Thank you so much, Josie. Thank you for supporting me. Supporting Dean, sorry. Okay, listen. Dean, your leaders have no diplomacy. That's why our soldiers are dying. What did Kamala Harris say? She wants to do a ceasefire in Gaza.
How many soldiers died under Trump's administration?
Well, he tried to make it far less. He tried to pull our soldiers.
How many soldiers died under Biden?
He tried to pull our soldiers out of Afghanistan.
One second. You just said that their poor diplomacy has led to the deaths of more American soldiers.
It will.
More American soldiers died under Trump than Biden and Harris.
It will. It will.
Okay, so more
you guys want to go to war
bullshit?
with Putin and North Korea? What are you doing? What are you guys saying?
Wait, you're saying that we want to go to war with Putin? Wait, yes. if Russia invaded Ukraine while Trump was president, what would Trump have done?
We don't know. We're not inside Trump's head.
Well, what Trump wants to do is to revoke funding on securities for Ukraine, making Russian expansion easier. So Trump wants more Russian expansion. We want less Russian expansion.
I agree with Trump on this one. Because
so you want to make Russian expansion easier, and you think that won't increase the threat of World War III?
No, now you guys increased the threat of World War III.
So your claim here is if Harris is elected, World War III is going to start, and if Trump is elected, the Death Star is going to come down.
Yes.
And if Trump is elected, the Death Star is going to come down to Earth and blow it up with its massive laser, bro.
Cut it out, Dean. Cut it out.
No, I'm being dead ass, bro.
No, but you have to realize,
yes, 110%. If he's elected, the Death Star is going to kill us all.
You have to realize, bro, your leaders...
Mary, thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo, saying, I am coolest Mimi and a big fan of you. Thank you so much for the love. I want to get some massive W's in the chat for Mary. Thank you for the $25 on Venmo. Let's go.
Your leaders, they are not diplomatically sound, and they're getting us into a bunch of wars. Here's the thing.
What wars have they gotten us into?
They're literally being aggressive with North Korea and Russia for no reason.
Oh, and wow, we're pushing back against Russian expansion. We are trying to preserve the sanctity of democracies across America.
Let me say one thing, my friend, and I'll let you speak. Do you want me to prove to you that the Democrats have no idea what they're doing?
Yeah, why not?
Because here's how. The sanctions they imposed on Russia, they have now remove those sanctions because they realized it was a bad idea. It was hurting us, the sanctions we were putting on Russia.
Would you be able to give me a source that would indicate?
Let's search it up. Russia.
Thank you for the handouts. I appreciate you for the love. I'd love a source that would indicate that we've removed tariffs on Russian oil.
Sanctions from Russia.
From Russia. Oh, wait.
From Russia.
Wait, sanctions like tariffs on other countries is bad?
Well, they removed the sanctions because they realized it was hurting us.
Is sanctions like tariffs on other countries?
U.S.
One second, Tay. I'm asking a very direct question here. So do you think
I have it, bro.
Tay, I'm asking a very direct question. So do you think sanctions such as tariffs is bad? Those are bad for us to put on other countries because they hurt us?
They did, according to this article.
So you think that they're bad, right? That's something that we shouldn't do?
If we're putting sanctions and they're hurting us, look.
Okay.
I don't really understand.
I'm asking you a very direct question here. Is placing tariffs on other countries bad because it hurts us? Yes or no?
Say this one more time.
Is placing tariffs on other countries bad because it hurts us? Yes or no?
No, that does not hurt us. That's like a tax. Shit. What you
What
mean?
sanctions did they place on Russia?
Oh, we placed a lot of sanctions, especially on their bank, but
They
now we're
placed
removing
fucking-
it.
Timberly, thank you so much for the $50 on PayPal. Timberly says, Dean, thank you for always being truthful. Love Timberly. Timberly, I really appreciate you.
Let me read this real
Some
quick,
massive
man.
W's in the chat. I really appreciate you, Timberly. Massive
read this
W's
real
for
quick,
Timberly
Dean.
down below right now for the $50 on PayPal. Thank
Thanks for
you
the
so much for the
$50.
love.
Thanks for the love, guys.
Massive. Let's get at least $500.
Dean's a good guy.
Timberly down below in the
He's
chat.
young.
Thank you
He
for the
doesn't understand
$50.
yet. See, listen, let me read
I'm
this.
young. I don't understand how
Yeah,
many
you don't
continents are
understand,
there?
bro. You don't understand the world,
many-
okay? The
How many
U.S. has
continents are there?
removed, let me read the source. Let me read. I don't come with lies. The U.S. has removed the former European subsidiary of the Russian VTB Bank from its sanction list. The U.S. Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control said on April 2nd.
Okay, so the
Germany-based
so-
Ostwest Handelsbank has been removed from the list according to the information on the Treasury's website. The positions with names under which the bank used to operate earlier, VTB Bank Deutschland and VTB Bank Europe, were also struck down. The U.S. announced extensive anti-Russian sanctions that also targeted VTB Bank at the offset of Moscow's full-scale invasion of Ukraine on February 24th, 2022. In the wake of the sanctions, German authorities wrested control of Frankfurt-based subsidiary.
Jennifer, thank you so much for the $20 and the 24 cents on PayPal for not understanding the world. Thank you for the love. I really appreciate you for the love. Let's get some massive W's for Jennifer in the chat. Thank you so much for the $20 and the 24 cents on PayPal. I really
Like
appreciate
I was
you for the
saying,
love.
we imposed extensive sanctions against Russian entities, individuals, and other actors aiding Moscow's aggression against Ukraine, but we have since removed some of those sanctions because they were hurting us, showing
How
the
did they hurt
Democrats search it up, my friend. I don't know exactly how it hurt us, but the U.S. Treasury Department agrees with me. The U.S. Treasury
I
Department
don't see
agrees
anywhere
with
in
me.
there. One second.
Search it
I don't
up,
see anywhere.
Dean.
Hey,
The great.
Tayan, I'm gonna have to do without the interruptions. Is that fair?
It's fair, but you keep interrupting me, my friend.
Okay, how about we just don't interrupt one another, right?
Sure,
So
sure.
you just said that the Treasury Department placed sanctions on a Russian bank, then removed them like 3 years later. I don't think that implies that they removed them because they are hurting us, right? For that.
Stop it,
So
Dean.
could you justify the claim that the reason they removed the sanctions is because they were hurting us?
Let's search it up. How Russia sanctions were hurting us.
Oh my fucking god! Get a load of this, Joker.
We have
Can I
Google.
ask
What do
you a
you mean?
question?
The sanctions.
Jana, thank you so much for the $11 and the 11 cents on Venmo for babysitting Tay. I really appreciate you for the love. Massive W's in the chat for
Nevertheless, the
Jana.
U.S.
I really
Treasury
appreciate
claims
you.
sanctions are damaging Russia, but they actually aren't because the U.S. Treasury agrees that.
Oh, you're adding that part on. Yeah, you're adding that part on. No, you're adding that part on. You're adding that part on, buddy. You're adding that part on. Yeah.
No,
Your
I'm
source
reading this.
it was
I'm
saying that
reading
the
it. What do you
sanctions
mean?
hurt Russia. No.
I'm
You're adding
reading
that
it
part
from
on,
the
buddy.
source. BBC. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to say BBC. I don't want to get banned on TikTok. Oops.
So how
BBC?
exactly did these sanctions hurt America? You have no clue. Okay, that's fair. I'm gonna go and ask you a
They
question
don't-
now.
Guys,
So what do you-
guys. Oh, how do they hurt? We can explain it to you right now. You know why? Because Putin is much smarter than your leaders. What does Putin say, Dean? He say, hey, everybody in the United States, you can come over to our country. You can come over to our country if you want. What does he say? He says, okay, everybody, India, everybody, I want you to convert to the BRICS payment system.
I just want to clarify here.
Hold
So,
on. Do you know what the BRICS payment?
I just want to clarify here. So sanctions placed on Russian banks hurt America because Putin is smarter than our leaders.
Yes, much smarter than the Kamala Harris. Hey, hold on. Do you know what the BRICS payment system is? Do you know what it is?
Yeah, super irrelevant to our conversation.
Oh my
Okay.
God, this guy
So
is
let's
why
go
we're
ahead and
gonna
talk
go
about-
into World War III.
Sharon, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, saying for keeping this financial guy who doesn't understand
Somebody
tariffs.
said-
So yeah, I appreciate you for the $10 on Venmo from Sharon. I really appreciate
Somebody
you for the love.
said,
I have a
you
question
know
for
Trump-
you. I have a
What?
question
What?
for you, Tan. Do you think when Trump tried to overthrow our government to steal the 2020 election from Biden, do you think that hurt America?
That was not stealing the election. He had already won by the time we stormed the Capitol. Shit.
Oh my God! At least you admit you stormed the Capitol. Second of all,
Well, yeah, I mean, we stormed the Capitol. We
wait
don't
a
need you
second.
Democrats in office.
1 second. Yeah, so the idea that the 2020 election was like stolen from from Trump, that is big lie propaganda. It is completely false. Over the course of the last 4 years, it has been incessantly investigated on the local and state level by private and public entities, right? Even Trump tried to make the argument that it was stolen from him to 63 courts. All 63 of those courts, including 17 courts with judges that he appointed, disposed of his argument because it is big lie propaganda, and it is big lie propaganda that Trump had actually planned before the election ever occurred, right? We have him on tape on October 9th and October 31st telling his chief of staff and his chief strategist his plan to call the election on the night of the election and to announce widespread voter fraud, and that was before the election ever occurred. It was big lie propaganda that's been incessantly refuted and disproven. But if you want to talk about attempted voter fraud that actually did occur, we could talk about the fact that Trump sent fake slates of electorates to 7 different states to cast fake Trump votes from states that Trump lost in 2020 to Congress to be certified as real. Trump literally tried to steal the vote from Biden. Trump literally tried to circumvent and ignore the voice and the vote of every American who voted in 2020. Trump literally tried to throw our checks and balances out the fucking window. And these are all things that Trump himself has admitted to.
Democrats and their allies sued to keep Robert F. Kennedy Jr. off the ballot in several states.
Pivot. We're not going to do the pivot. I'm going to go ahead and give you one chance to stay on topic and respond to what I just said before I kick you. Okay, so what is it going to be? Are you going to respond to what I just said, or are you going to pivot and get kicked?
Yes, let me respond to what you just said. With all that being said about Trump, I do not care. Why? Can I pivot now? Can I pivot? How'd you kicking me?
So why? Okay, so are you just anti-American, anti-Constitution, anti-democracy?
Why do I not care? Is that what you're asking me, Dean? Are you asking me about?
Are you like anti-American, anti-Constitution, anti-democracy, anti?
Why don't I care? Because Democrats and their allies sue to keep Robert F. Kennedy Jr. off the ballot in several states. CBS News. Is not a dictatorship? I don't know what is. You guys are playing unfair, and you guys want to say we're the Democrat or we're the dictators.
Wait. So about this like supposedly like anti-democratic behaviors to keep RFK off the ballot. Do you care about that?
Say that one more time. Say it again. Sorry.
Do you care about that? Do you care about them like suing to keep RFK off the ballot?
Yes, because it's like, why are you guys not playing fair? Let the guy have a fair shot at the election.
Okay, so you're going to say here that supposedly the Democrats or the states, right, that wanted to keep RFK off the ballot because he's not a viable candidate, right, that tried to sue to get him off, you didn't like that because they weren't playing fair. You care there. But then you turn around and then when you see Trump not playing fair, literally trying to steal the presidential election from Joe Biden by sending fake votes to Congress.
No, that's what I'm saying for you, Dean. Dean, listen, that's what I'm saying to you. I'm saying you care about what Trump did, but you don't care about what the Democrats did to Robert F. Kennedy. It's a contradiction.
Okay, what
that's
happens?
What I'm telling you.
What happens when you sue someone? What happens?
If you are the main person in office, you have the advantage in suing
You
somebody.
follow the legal processes as ordained by the local, state, and federal government. You are following legislation. I'm not personally aware, right, of the lawsuits that were particularly brought against RFK to keep him off the ballot. But the fact that happened inside of the criminal justice system shows that the proper legal channels were taken to either justify a claim. Right? You might be able to make the claim that the lawsuits were frivolous and they had no groundings, legally speaking, to keep them off the ballot. But if that was the case, the lawsuits would have been thrown out, right? So
it is the case because the Supreme Court.
The point that I make here, right, is you're referencing Democrats taking the proper legal channels, right, to contest, right, like an occurrence of like a potential election, and then you're trying to compare that to Trump trying to rig the outcome of the election, breaking federal law by installing fake Trump votes in Congress.
My friend, what they did is wrong, and it can be construed as wrong. Even
so, then why don't you think what Trump did was wrong?
I think it is equally wrong, but no party.
You think it's equally wrong to try to steal? No. Please tell me. Please tell me how it's equally as wrong to attempt to illegally steal the outcome of the presidential vote from Joe Biden, even though the American public voted in there, in comparison to taking the proper legal channels to keep a frivolous, non-viable candidate off the ballot in like 2 or 3 states.
Even if it was legal, it's still a form of dictatorship, and it's still
Caden, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo for dealing with Tay's ignorance. I really appreciate you for the love. I'm asking you how these two things are comparable. I'm asking you how these two things are comparable. These two things are not comparable.
It is comparable because both are forms of dictatorship.
Oh, so you'd admit that Trump is a dictator?
Both are forms of dictators.
So you admit that Trump wants to be a dictator? You said that Trump wants to be a dictator.
Even if they are filing legal motion to prosecute
No. Answer my
somebody,
question. So did you just admit that Trump is a dictator?
We're admitting
So
both
you think that
parties
Trump
are
is a
dictators.
dictator?
We're admitting
Diego,
both parties are
thank you for the
dictators.
$5 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. No, so specifically speaking, Kamala Harris has never attempted to keep RFK off the ballot. Kamala Harris has never attempted to steal the outcome of a federal election from any other candidate. Kamala Harris has never attempted to circumvent the civil and electoral processes, right, of any election, local, state, or federal level.
How do you know?
So I'm
Where's your
voting for
proof?
the
Where's
non-dictator
your proof?
over the dictator.
Where's your proof that she didn't do that? Where's your proof?
Yeah,
Where's your proof?
because it wasn't an action in which she engaged in. Because
I
if it
have
was an
proof
action in
that
which she
Robert F.
engaged in-
Kennedy is suing your party, and guess what? I think it was the Supreme Court that granted
Wait, do you have any
access.
Do you particularly have any evidence that like she has partook in like anti-democratic behaviors?
Even if it wasn't her, it's the Democratic Party. And to
Oh,
go off
so
of
yes,
that,
so Kamala Harris hasn't done any of these things, so I'm voting for
I
the
said even if it
non-dictator
wasn't
over
her.
the
I said
dictator.
even if it wasn't her. Even if it wasn't her. It's
Wait,
the
does that make me a
Democratic Party.
dictator because I'm a part of the
Hold
Democratic
on,
Party?
You don't even let me get my points. Let me get my
Aaron,
point.
thank you for the $5 on Venmo. He's so mind-numbingly bad faith. I know. Thank you for the love.
The point
Am I
is,
a
Kamala-
dictator because I'm part of the Democrat Party?
If your Democratic Party is running all the strings, yes. You think Kamala's running the
Okay, so
strings?
I'm a
It is
dictator?
not Kamala running the string. It's the Democratic Party behind the scenes running everything.
I'm
So-
a dictator. Dean the dictator. Dean
so
the
if the
dictator. Ladies
Democratic
and gentlemen,
Party
Dean
is
the
doing all of
dictator.
this- Listen, Kamala is just the face for the Democratic Party, my friend.
Okay, I have a second question. So now you're saying, right, that if it is true of any member of the Democrat Party, then it applies to all members of the Democrat Party? Right?
Yes,
So my
because
question
the
to you would
Democrat
be-
Party is the one running
One
everything.
second, hey, Titanic, give me a second. All right, so why don't we use the same logic? If it's true of any one member of the Republican Party, it's true of all members of the Republican parties. So the Proud Boys and KKK members are parts of the Republican Party. Does that mean that all Republicans are vehemently and proudly racist?
That's it. I didn't say Republicans. I said you would have to say the Republican Party, not Republicans. You would have to say Republican Party. I didn't say all I didn't say all Democrats. I didn't say all Republicans. No, I said the Democratic Party because in this case, guess what? You guys don't have strong enough of a leader. Hold on. You guys don't have strong enough of a leader to make decisions by themselves. So they have to rely on the Democratic Party. So in virtue, if the Democratic Party is suing and they're the one running all the strings in the country, they are dictators. They are dictators.
So who's Kamala Harris
Jesus
controlled by?
Christ.
So who's Kamala Harris controlled by?
The Democratic Party. She couldn't answer a simple
You
question
gotta be
to
more
inflation.
specific.
She couldn't answer a simple question to inflation. We asked Kamala,
Hey,
what
Tatum,
is
you gotta be
inflation?
more specific. You gotta be more specific. Who specifically is she controlled by?
The entire Democratic Party, because guess
I'm
what?
a part of the Democrat Party. Does that mean I
No,
control
you are
Kamala
not part of the
Harris?
Democrat committee. We talk about Hillary
What's
Clinton. We
the
talk
Democrat
about Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, all of these, Joe Biden, all of these people who are
So
using
Kamala
her
Harris
as the
is controlled
face.
by the Clintons, Obamas, and Bidens. Can you give me any
I
evidence?
wouldn't say the
that
Clintons.
Kamala-
I would definitely say Barack Obama. I would
Could you, give
definitely
me
say
any, could you give me any evidence that Kamala Harris is being controlled by the most classy president ever?
yes, because she was damn near hidden for a month. We couldn't ask her any questions. She had to go study. She had to go
so
study.
Your evidence for the idea that Kamala Harris is controlled by Barack Obama is that she didn't do like any public interviews for
The
like, 4
first
weeks?
public interview we saw of Kamala, we asked her a simple question for inflation.
Okay, and
She
I just
couldn't
want
answer that.
to clarify here. Pipsqueak, come on, step your game up. Your evidence
my
for this
God.
idea, for the claim that she's controlled by Obama, is that she didn't do an interview for 3 weeks.
It's obviously something suspicious going on. If you have to
Okay,
hide,
and do you
from the
see how
media- Okay, but guess
laughably
what?
weak that argument is?
Do you see how weak your leader is?
I see how strong my leader is. Oh yeah, so Kamala Harris, the intelligent prosecutor who wants to fight for the rights, freedoms of all, fight for marginalized communities, and fight for federal protections for women's access to healthcare, makes her weak. But Donald Trump, the grapist, felon, fraudster that particularly wanted to ban all Muslims from entering into the country, has sexualized little girls, saying that he did a 10-year-old girl in 10 years, has raped an adult woman, boasted about grabbing women by the P word without consent, boasted to Howard Stern about walking into the changing rooms of half-naked teenage girls to inspect them while they're half-naked.
Hey, it's the
with some-
Constitution,
with some
freedom of
girls
speech.
being as young as 15 there. That was fucking gross.
Ah.
And that makes him a strong leader?
I didn't say it makes you a strong leader, but it definitely don't make you weaker. Got him.
Wait, you would say it wouldn't make an individual a weaker leader if they like grape women and sexualize little girls?
Vikings raped women. It did not make them weaker. They still conquered successfully. after that.
Was Hitler a strong leader?
I wouldn't say he was strong. I'd say he was powerful. Yes, we cannot deny Hitler's He was powerful. What are you going to say? He was more powerful than you, Dean, and I. What are you going to say? But at the extent to where he had to get his power was devastating for the community. So it was power, but it was terrible. Okay, we don't support genocide. And rest in peace to all the Jewish.
So was Hitler a strong leader or a weak leader?
I say he was powerful. We cannot say if he was weak or strong.
Was Hitler weak or strong? I can answer really easily. He was weak. He was a weak leader. He was a terrible guy with no virtues. And a good leader and a good strong leader, we would expect good virtues. We'd expect good leadership that would be conveyant of which would be conducive towards the well-being of the individuals in which he's leading. Right? I could say it. He was a weak leader, just like Trump. Okay.
I think he
but now you answer. Was Hitler a weak or a strong leader?
He was a very powerful speaker, Dean. He could motivate the.
Gerard, thank you for the $25 on Venmo for dealing with a loud D-U-M-B-A-S-S. Thank you so much. Shut up, buddy. Thank you for the $25, Gerard. Let's get some W's in the chat for Gerard. Lindsay, thank you for the $5, and Aaron, thank you for the $5 as well. Let's get some W's for Gerard, Lindsay, and Aaron. Brad, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, saying that Tay has a video called "Don't Argue with Democrats. You're losing badly. I see why you want to argue with me." Brian, thank you for the $4 and the 20 cents on Venmo, saying thank God. I appreciate you for the love. Samantha, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo for dealing with these clowns. I appreciate you for the love, Samantha. We are absolutely dunking on this idiot right now. Tay, and my birthday is tomorrow. This is the best
happy early birthday, my fellow Republican.
This is the best early birthday present I ever could have wished for.
Dean, let me ask you: if Hitler wasn't powerful, how was he able to motivate the crowd, and how was he able to get people to follow him to the extent of Martin Luther King? Only a powerful person at the mouth can do something like that.
Wait, you'd say that Hitler was just as motivational as Martin Luther King Jr.?
You have to be powerful to motivate people to kill for you. You have to be powerful to motivate people to kill for you.
Did you just compare Hitler to MLK?
You have to be powerful to motivate people to kill for you. You have to be powerful to motivate a group of people to do something for you, which Martin Luther King and Hitler both did. You have to be powerful to be able to do that.
Are you actually comparing MLK to fucking dude? This is one second. Shut up, buddy. This is the shit, right? That just absolutely degrades my trust, right, in like the progression of humanity. And I also think it's funny that in order for you to justify that Trump is a good leader, you have to say that Hitler was a good leader.
I didn't say Hitler was a good leader. I didn't say that. I said he was powerful.
What's a good leader?
I think a good leader who's somebody.
Alyssa, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal, saying that this guy's a weird VI virgin. Thank you for the $10. I appreciate you for the love, Alyssa.
I wish.
What is a good leader to you? What does that mean?
I think a good leader is somebody who can gain power without putting his civilians in jeopardy.
Okay, so then we'd say that Trump isn't
her.
Then you'd say here that Trump isn't a good leader because in order for him to gain power, he has to put the rights of women at jeopardy. He had to put our democracy at jeopardy. He had to put further marginalization of already marginalized communities in the low and middle class at jeopardy. He had to put essentially everybody but rich white men and multi-billion-dollar corporations at jeopardy.
I think if we look back at tax reigns, he gave the middle class a tax cut too, did he not?
So the TCJA sent 83. Well, I want to ask you this question first. Would you support spending $1.6 trillion on universal health care for all?
For all, what does all constitute?
Everybody in America. Also, one second. Sin, thank you for the $30 on Venmo saying happy birthday. And thank you for dunking on this loser. I appreciate you for the love, Sin. Let's get at least 60 W's for Sin in the chat. And Samantha, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo as well. What did you say?
I said you're not even tall enough to get to the rim. But anyways,
what?
I think $1.6 trillion for healthcare for every American citizen and immigrant legal is totally fine.
Would you agree with spending like $1.6 trillion on a universal income, like a UBI, universal basic income?
What would that constitute? I've never heard of UBI before.
Okay, I mean, I just want to clarify here, right? So predominantly speaking, a lot of members of the Republican Party wouldn't support universal health care for all. So seemingly you'd align more with the Democrat Party here, right? You would seemingly support legislation that would better off the low and middle class. When specifically speaking, Trump's administration passed no legislation that better off the low and the middle class more than it benefited rich people. Can you name one policy that he influenced to get passed that benefited the low and middle class more than it benefited rich people?
I can name a bill.
Name it.
PPP.
PPP is not the name of a bill.
Well, whatever it is, a law, shit. PPP.
Okay, so how many continents are there?
7.
Name them.
Africa.
I mean, at least you started with Africa. Most people, that's the one that they forget. So honestly, WU, but I'm going to go ahead and move on. Listen, like most like people, they forget Africa. So I'll give them credit for like starting with Africa, but it was still an utter failure. We are going to go ahead and move on to our next guest at this point, y'all. For the 3.9 thousand people in here, if you're voting for Trump, let me see a MAGA down below in the chat. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest right now. Also, if you guys want to support me, my Venmo, my PayPal, they are in my bio. But we're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest at this point. If you're MAGA, let me know down below. We're going to go and load up our next guest right now, y'all. So everyone just do give us a minute. We got him loading in. Thank you so much for the corgi. I appreciate you guys for all of your insane love today. Alrighty, tidy, ladies and gentlemen. We got our guests loading in. We are accepting them up. Let's go ahead and see who we got here. All right, who we got? If you are MAGA, let me know in the chat. User 1606, I invited you up. You said I was too young to know anything. Good afternoon, Leslie. All right, looks like our guests are not connecting here, so everyone just be patient. All right, everyone be patient. We are going to go to get Cam loading it up in the box. Kelsey, thank you for the $2 and the 24 cents on Venmo saying happy early birthday, Dean. I appreciate that, Kelsey. Thank you so much.
Hello.
What's up, Cam? Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, you went on pause so I can't hear you. You have to be on the live where I can see you.
Oh, okay.
I
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Right.
So why are you voting for Trump?
Well, actually, can I ask you a question first?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay. So I just want to ask you what you think how she did in California when she was governor in California. How did she do?
So first of all, she wasn't governor in California. Second of all, like I don't know too much about the specificalities of like an AG or DA and how we would evaluate their functions. Third of all, I know that Trump thought she did great because he just said 15 years ago San Francisco was beautiful, was great, and that's when she was the San Francisco. So,
well, I mean, all of her policies now made it look like shit. I mean, have you looked at any of the things going on there?
Wait, but Trump thought it was great. He even like donated like $6,000 to her campaign.
Okay.
And what policies did she pass for the state of California? She was the AG and DA.
Yeah, AG and DA. Sorry, my bad.
So what did she do that destroyed California?
The things she supported, the way she treated everyone in her circle there, and the way that she
well, you gotta be more specific.
Okay.
I mean, you just thought that she was the governor of California. I don't know how far this conversation is going to go, but we'll try. You keep going on pause, little brother.
I needed to go on to my thing. Sorry. Also, I was going to ask you about how do you think the bail, how she's supporting the bail or supporting criminals to get out of jail, convicted rapists and kidnappers through a bail fund that she has been supporting for a while now. I can name some of the criminals that she let out.
Holy fucking shit, Leslie! I appreciate you for the anarts. So I just want to like demonstrate to the 4,000 people watching this live how just ludicrous these MAGA lies will grow. So the bail fund that he's talking about were the peaceful protesters that were arrested during the BLM protests.
Do you want me to read what they did?
One second. And then it went from bailing out the peaceful protesters to then MAGA supporters saying that she wanted to bail out the violent rioters. And I guess now it's gone from bailing out the violent rioters to bailing out rapists?
Do you want me to give you exactly who she bailed out or who her fund helped bail out?
Yeah, just you got to give me more information here.
Yeah, for sure. Here, am I able to switch to my my Google because I have all the names right there?
So switch to Google. So I won't be able to hear you if you switch for Google.
Okay.
But what you could do, go on Google, find me a source, read it off on live, then I'll go look at it.
Okay.
Dark Kitty, I would love to have you up in the box. I did invite you. While he's looking for a source on Google, y'all, make sure that you're double tapping on that phone screen, folks. Right now we're at 350,000 likes. Let's try to get up to 400,000. Honestly, while he's looking for his source, we'll go ahead and get someone else up in here to fill in the quiet time. So it's going to be...
I have the... I can post it. And can I put in the...
Just say it out loud.
Oh, shit.
Okay, while he's doing that, what's up, Emily? Are you voting for Trump?
Hi. I know I'm not voting Trump. I'm voting Kamala.
Hey, W's for Emily. Yo, Ian, thank you so much for the raid. Let's get some W's in the chat for Ian. I really appreciate you for the raid. Massive W's down below for Ian. I hope you're doing well, Ian. It has been a while. Hope you're doing well. Massive W's for the raid from Ian down below, folks. Thank you so much. What's up, Haddon? Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah, I'm voting for Trump.
Now, why in the hell would you ever do such a thing? Why do you want a rapist felon want to be dictator in our Oval Office?
Why do you want to vote for Kamala?
Yeah, sure, for two main reasons. First will be character, second will be policy. She's not a rapist, she's not a racist, she's not a misogynist, she hasn't sexualized little girls. She hasn't attempted to overthrow our government and steal a federal election, right? She also hasn't tried to institute a Muslim ban, banning anyone who's Muslim from entering into our country. She hasn't boasted about grabbing women by the P word without asking them first.
Okay.
There's character. About policy, her policy is more centered around the law. Oh, God.
What's she going to do about border control?
Well, she's going to increase funding to the border, agencies.
She might be increasing funding, but what is she actually doing about border control?
I was going to tell you, but you seemingly didn't want to listen. All right, so she wants to increase funding to border control agencies. Thank you for the manifesting. She wants to increase funding to courts on the border, specifically to expedite the process of asylum-seeking claims. She wants to limit it with like rolling averages per day, give the presidency more control to shut down the border if a crisis were to emerge, but more so just fall in line with Biden's executive order on the border that decreased crossings by 55%, putting us at the same level of daily crossings now that we saw at the end of Trump's term. Just create efficiency, reduce undocumented entries into our country by making our legal processes safer and faster. Okay. Silenced or silent?
No, I'm not silenced.
Okay. What is Trump going to do about the border? Shut down another bipartisan border bill? What is Trump going to do about the border? Throw out border protection if it will help him win re-election and increase his numbers? What is Trump going to do about the border?
He's never thrown out border control. That's all he's... No, when has he ever thrown out border control?
Yeah, the Secure the Border Act, drafted by Langford, a Republican in the Senate, 2023. He called the Republicans, told him to vote against it because he didn't want the Democrats to look good and he wanted to be able to continue to campaign on the crisis.
Okay.
So yeah, great, phenomenal. If you had a 10-year-old daughter and Trump walked up to her and said that he'd be dating her in 10 years, told that to her, told that to you, would you still vote for him?
You guys are talking about Trump and his past, but have you also looked at the person that you guys have voted for before? I mean, talking about how he wants little kids in a swimming pool wiping out his hairy legs and stuff like that, sniffing little girls. It's like everyone has their own belief and their own opinion.
Yeah, we could talk about Biden next, but can you answer my question?
Okay.
I'll let you cook about Biden next, but first answer my question.
Okay. No, I wouldn't.
Okay, so you wouldn't vote for Trump if he sexualized your 10-year-old daughter. Trump has sexualized someone else's 10-year-old daughter. So would this mean that you wouldn't vote for him?
It's the same. We could do the same thing about Biden. I mean,
first of all, Biden's not running. Second of all, it's just not the case. Could you give me an instance of like Biden sexualizing little kids?
An instance? Look at all of everything that
all of everything.
Okay.
So vague. That's what you do. That's what they do. They become so vague. The vaguest motherfuckers on planet Earth. Look at all of everything, chat, for the 4.3 thousand people in here. Look at all of everything. Look at all of everything. Are you looking at all of everything? Because I'm looking at fucking nothing. I'm looking at an empty fucking room right now, Haddon. Lights on, no one's home. That's what I'm looking at. Okay, all right. He's leaving. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest. Let's go ahead and see what our next guest, Gage, has to say. Everyone just give us a minute. We got Gage loading up in. What's up, man? Are you voting for... Of course you're voting for Trump. You have a lifted F-150 in your profile picture. Why in the hell are you voting for the Cheeto?
Hold up.
Dave, what are we holding up for? Are you like running to your room so mommy doesn't hear you scream about how you want to vote for a rapist? Sorry.
You're literally so uneducated.
How many continents are there?
Enough.
I can't. I'm so bored. I'm so bored of people like you. I truly am. You bore me.
Well, I'm so sick of you, little pussy. Like thinking you're getting your feelings too much.
Dude, I'm in my feeling. Oh,
yeah, that's what you are.
And then you come up on my life and slur. Okay, we're gonna go and move on to our next guest. I'm sorry for her use of slurs, chat. let's go ahead and see what our next guest has to say. All right, we're gonna go ahead and see what our next guest has to say. Everyone, just kind of give us a minute here. That was insane. I honestly, don't really prep myself for the random slurs. Like, holy shit! I know it's a part of the MAGA script, but it is rough. I apologize for that. Stephanie, what's going on? You voting for Trump?
Of course.
Of course. So why do you care about someone that doesn't care about you? Trump is a sexist. He does not care about women.
You know what? Everybody wants to say that. All the Democrats want to say that.
All the
but show me the proof.
Okay, fair. So in 2022, he was held civilly liable for the rape of a woman. In 1992, he sexualized a 10-year-old girl, saying that he dated her in 10 years. In 2007, he boasted about how he likes to grab women by the P word without asking them first and just can't resist from kissing them. On Sirius XM with Howard Stern in the early 2000s, I think it was about 2003, he boasted about walking into the changing rooms of half-naked teenage girls to inspect them, with there being girls as young as 15 there. Would you like more evidence, or is that sufficient?
No, because that's just individual people and everybody has their own story. So I'm sure the next thing you're going to talk about is the SCOTUS decision.
Can you go ahead and repeat what you just said but make it make sense?
Those are individual women and everybody has their own story. So we don't know if they're telling the truth or not. So I'd rather
those
talk
are
about...
those aren't accusations. Those are like things that have either been proven in court or clips of Trump saying these words. Like when I reference him sexualizing a little girl in the 90s, that's because we have a clip of him sexualizing a girl in the 90s. When I referenced him boasting about walking into the changing rooms of half-naked teenage girls, that's because he has a big mouth and literally said so on Sirius XM. Access Hollywood tapes, he was privately recorded talking about how he likes to grab women by the P word. That's not stories that someone else has repeated. Those are clips, video, and audio of these statements coming out of Trump's mouth.
People are getting mad at me in the comments because I'm a woman, but and that's the first thing you said to me, but that's why a lot of women started following me all of a sudden, because they know that I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. Donald Trump, if you just look at the policy, y'all talk about the SCOTUS decision, because he came out and he said, oh, yeah, I was responsible for the SCOTUS decision. Who cares? Who cares?
Wait, are you referencing overturning Roe v. Wade? I care, right? I think that all 170 million American women and girls should have federally protected access. What did you say?
I'm sorry. I'm listening. I don't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, what did you
I'm here for a conversation. I want to just, as a man, why you care?
Oh, so
I'll
yeah.
turn it back on y'all.
See, that's the fundamental discrepancy between you and me. You're saying, how can I, as a man, care about legislation that oppresses women? Okay? And see, the fundamental discrepancy here is you don't care about anyone that isn't you, and I do. I have the empathy and the IQ to be able to place myself in someone else's shoes, see reality from another perspective, and care about issues that can serve as a detriment to others.
Why do you assume I don't care about nobody other than myself?
It's an assumption based on fact. The fact that you said, who cares about, federal protections for access to abortion for all 170 million American women and girls being thrown out the window? Who cares about shifting the American dynamic away from financially well-off adults that desire to start a family that consent to having kids, to forcing 18, 19, 20-year-old boys and girls into doing exactly that, forcing an unwanted kid in an unready household? Who cares about raising rates of poverty, decreasing levels of education, income, and qualities of life? Who cares? I do. Millions of Americans do, and everyone should.
but the reality that not a lot of people on TikTok talk about is people in Americans need to have more babies, because we got so many illegal immigrants coming over and they're taking over. They're the majority of the population.
Okay, are you trolling? There's no way you're this DUMB. Are you trolling?
Did you just call me dumb?
I sure did. Are you trolling?
What's wrong with what I said?
Stephanie, is this I need you to inform me if you're a troll or not.
Because of what I believe I'm a troll?
I don't, Chad. Usually this is when a troll would start cracking. This is when they'd start laughing. Stephanie, you're being serious?
Have I said anything crazy?
Yes, quite frankly, you have. You said that undocumented migrants are coming into our country, and now they count for a majority of people in America, and that's why we need to force more women to give birth. That was pretty fucking ludicrous,
Okay,
Stephanie.
sorry, I misspoke. They are going to be the majority if it keeps going that way, though.
Okay, so what's the issue with like legal migration, like individuals from Latin America accounting for a majority of U.S. citizens? What is the issue?
That's the whole point of MAGA, Make America Great Again, because we don't have enough room in this country.
Who doesn't? Who's we? Who doesn't have enough room in this country? Who could you possibly be referencing? Who could you possibly be referencing?
There's homeless veterans on the street.
That's not what you're not referencing. Homeless veterans.
The homeless veterans on the street.
I want you to talk about what you just said. So you said that's why we want to make America great again, quote unquote. We don't have enough room in this country because we will see a trend of migrants becoming the majority of a populace. First of all, that's just not true. Second of all,
why not? Could you explain that to me since you explained everything else?
What group of
people? Can't explain that to me.
What group of people, what sect of American citizens will be a minority? What sect could you possibly be referencing here?
Could you repeat the question?
Sure. Yeah, you said that the people that propone the Make America Great Again movement, we, y'all, us, are becoming a minority of the country. Who could you possibly be referencing there?
What do you mean? Who am I referencing? I'm sorry.
You're referencing fucking white people. You're referencing white people. Okay? You literally said that the reason you don't like migration across the southern border is because apparently migrants are becoming the majority of a country and the MAGA movement is becoming a slimming minority. You're referencing white people. You don't want to make America great again. Because if you wanted to make America great again, you want to launch a legal attack on the rights of women.
Who's the R word now? Because I never even brought that up. I never said that. You're putting words in my mouth.
What do you mean by R word?
Am I allowed to say it on TikTok?
Oh my fucking god, did you just censor yourself using a slur?
No, I'm saying you're being the R word by even bringing that up.
Listen. Racist or like another word?
Yes.
Okay.
I never said white people.
Okay. You're
so
talking about
everybody
racism.
says Republicans are racist. Trump is not racist.
Okay, so Trump definitely is racist.
But what you just said is racist.
Wait, I have a question. Would you say that denying opportunity to black...
Prove it.
Yeah. Would you say that like a general principle of racism could be like denying opportunity to a black person because they're black? Is that like always racist?
Deny opportunity to black people because it depends on the job.
What? Stephanie, what? In what scenario is it not racist to deny opportunity to a black person because they're black?
For example, a country club.
How is it not racist to deny opportunity, like a job opportunity to a black person because they're black at a country club? How is that not racist? What is racism?
Some country clubs, I'll answer that in a sec. Some country clubs have a majority white members, and that's who they. I can't no more. Thank you.
Okay, that was a troll. Holy shit. Okay, I'm happy that was a troll. I don't think I've ever been trolled so hard. I don't think I've ever been trolled so hard. I actually was convinced that was like dead ass. Okay, wow. Okay, good. We got him out. We're gonna move on to our next guest. Yeah. I don't think I've ever been got harder. I've literally never been got harder. Right? Holy fuck. What's up, man? Are you voting for Trump?
I'm so sorry. I'm partially blind in my left eye, so when I went to send you a gift, I actually sent a request.
No worries, man. I'm gonna
I'm so sorry.
W's for Toaster Jesus. We're gonna move on to our next guest here, y'all. Let's go to get our next guest up in the box. Holy fuck, bro. I have never been trolled so hard. Wow. Okay. Jude. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. What's up, man? Are you voting for Trump? Okay, they're just not here. Guys, if you're a MAGA, make sure to let me know down below in that chat. We are going to go ahead and get our next guest up in here. I would love to talk to a delusional Trump supporter. Let's go and get our next guest up in here. If you want to support me, my Venmo and my PayPal are in my bio. I get 100% of the proceeds on this.
Hi, the drink stuff. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, Callie? Are you voting for Trump?
Okay.
Callie, hi, you're on the live. Can you hear me? Stop with the chips. Can you hear me, Callie? Okay, does she not know that she's here? Callie Love in NYC, are you here? Okay, I don't think that she knows she's here. We're just going to go ahead and move on. Guys, make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen. Let's try to get up to 1 million likes here. All right, share out that live as well while we're getting our next guest up in here. If you're voting for Trump, let me know down below in that queue. In that chat, we're going to go and load up our next guest, Lexi, right now. Let's go and get our next guest up in the box. Everybody just give us a second here, y'all. What's going on, Lexi? Are you voting for Greg? Whoa, hi. I didn't even mean to accept you. Are you voting for Trump?
No, I'm definitely.
Thank you so much for coming up, Greg. We are just looking to debate Trump supporters based guest in the comment section. What's going on, Ra? What's up?
Hey,
are you voting for Trump?
Yeah, I'm voting for Trump.
Okay, so why do you want a grapist in the Oval Office?
Well, I know you're a little obsessed with the graping, but the reason I'm voting for him is because he was able to get Roe v. Wade overturned.
Oh, so I'm obsessed with grape.
You seem to mention a lot.
Okay, yeah, so the reason that I mentioned grape a lot on the live is specifically because I don't think that we should be empowering a POS, sexist, misogynist rapist into the Oval Office, because it will only further perpetuate grape culture.
No, I got it.
Second of all, you said the reason that you're voting for Trump is because he successfully restricted women's access to abortion. Why would that be a reason to vote for Trump?
Well, because I support and defend the Constitution, and there is no constitutional right to an AB.
Okay, so yeah, so do you think that abortion is murder?
No, well, I don't. At a certain point, of course, yeah. If it's viable, then sure, that would be murder. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And you think
so?
that
The 9th month, you don't think it's murder if a fetus is aborted in the 9th month?
Yeah. So I guess I should further clarify my question. Do you think that abortion is murder from the moment of conception?
No. I feel that there should be exceptions, and I feel that it should be decided democratically by the states.
So, like, what would your particular stance be here on, like, when you think abortion becomes murder?
So I think the Supreme Court was correct in sending it back to the states and have each state decide for themselves what's best for themselves. Here in California, where I'm from, we made it a fundamental right. We've completely taken the state.
I'm asking you about, like, the ethical.
Can I finish my point before you interrupt me? Because I know that's like your autistic way of debating. Let me finish my point, and then
One
you
second.
can jump to another.
What did you just said my autistic way of debating? So we're just being ableist. Why would you label a way in which I'm debating as like autistic? That's like incredibly.
Because you just jump around from subject to subject.
One second. That's incredibly demeaning to individuals with autism. Like, I don't even know if you know the harm that you're perpetuating. Coming up on a live in front of 5,000 people and saying that I have a quote unquote autistic way of debating, stigmatizing that, labeling it as being wrong. That's incredibly fucking ableist. No fucking wonder you don't have a care for anyone outside of your own shoes. That's why you're voting for the grapists. That's why you don't give a shit. That's why you don't want, women's federally protected access to abortion to be upheld by the Supreme Court to be codified into law. That's fucking gross, dude. You lack empathy. You lack an ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and see the world from another perspective. It's gross. It's honestly fucking deplorable. And see, this is the MAGA voter base. The MAGA voter base consists of individuals such as you, Ra. At the bottom of the barrel, you will find a sect of Americans who do not care about anyone but themselves, and they are willing to go to any length to further oppress those around them. You have a contorted and delusional worldview, and it is detrimental to the state of our democracy. And that is the one fundamental fucking flaw within a majority rule system, is when the majority becomes oppressive, when the majority no longer cares about empathy, when the majority no longer cares about what is best for those around them. That is the flaw in this system, and that is the flaw in which Trump has been able to capitalize on. He's been able to successfully manipulate so many fucking people into being the worst, most morally decrepit versions of themselves that could ever possibly exist to run our fucking country into the ground. You are a POS, and I hope that you know you're a POS, and I'm not going to talk to a POS such as you on my live. So go ahead, stop being ableist, learn, become a better person. I hope you listen to my lives and take something good away from them. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest. We can't stand with that bullshit. We don't stand with ableism here, chat. We're going to go to move on to our next guest here. And for those saying that I'm big mad in the chat, yeah, I am mad. Of course I'm going to be mad when people come up on my live and being like obviously ableist. Are you not mad? Maybe that speaks more loudly about yourself than me. Thank you guys for the gifts as well. I appreciate you for the hand arts. What's going on? How old are you?
Hey, I'm 20.
Are you voting for Trump?
I'm leaning towards it.
Okay. So would you ever vote for someone that's been held civilly liable for the violent sexual abuse of a woman?
Not usually. No.
Okay, so Trump's been held civilly liable for the violent sexual abuse of a woman.
I know that. I watch you and Parker a lot, actually, and Dean sometimes. But in particular, I heard something. I don't know if it's true for sure. You would probably know more than me. I'm not very well versed in politics. But I heard it is going to be harder to buy land and keep land in the future. Under her, it's going to be going more to investment groups, is what I've heard, and I don't want that. I want to get land when I'm older. And
yeah, so that's like detrimentally false. So under her housing, like her proposed policy about housing, so she actually wants to make it harder. She wants to restrict big corporations from being able to buy single family homes, and she wants to introduce a first time home buyer subsidy for $25,000 for first time home buyers for newly developed properties. So she's actually going to make it easier to buy land.
Really? Okay. Well, that's just about all I wanted to know. Thank you. You're doing great out here.
Hey, okay. Have a good rest of your day, man.
Yep, you too.
Low key, that was like that was a truly undecided voter who operates on the basis of facts. I can support that. Okay, all right, awesome. Moving on to our next guest here. Let's go and get him up in the box, y'all. Everyone just do give us a minute, guys. We got our next guest loading up in, y'all. Everyone do be patient. We're going to go to get our next guest up in the box right now. For the 5.3 thousand people in here, if you haven't already, hit that follow button. I go live and I do these debates every single day. So make sure to hit that follow button. We're going to go and get our next guest up in here. 1 second, though. I would like to thank someone for a donation. I just got to get it loaded up here. What's going on, man? Are you voting for Trump? Sorry, Kindle, not man.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I did not mean to press this. Oh, I love you.
No. Thank you for the love. No worries, Kendall. We're going to go to get our next guest up in the box right now, y'all, so everyone do be patient. Let's see here. Melissa, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal for standing up for what's right. Keep up the good work. Melissa, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. That allows me to continue to do this, and I really appreciate your donation. Let's make sure to show Melissa some love in the comment section right now. D, thank you for the hand hearts. What is going on, Damien? Are you voting for Trump?
Yes.
Okay. Also, TG, thank you so much for the $3 on Venmo. As someone who was diagnosed with autism 3 years ago, thank you for flaming that guy. Yeah, fuck that guy, TG. Awesome. Damien, why are you voting for Trump?
Actually, I just have a real quick question.
Okay, go for it.
Do you know what civil liability means? Like in depth? What does it mean?
It's like an arbitrary question. Maybe I could answer it this way. So if you're held civilly liable for committing an action, it essentially means that a civil court has determined via a preponderance of evidence that this is something in which you are guilty for and which you have done, and which would then lead to some type of financial responsibility.
Okay, so a civil liability. There's two different versions of this. You can either get civilly liability, or you can get criminally liable.
It's called a conviction in a criminal court, but yeah.
No, you get two different things. You're either civil liability or criminal liability. If you're civil liability, it's where that there was not enough facts for you to fully get convicted, but there was enough for there
Renee, thank you so much for the $50 on PayPal saying happy early birthday. Thank you for all that you do. Renee, thank you so much for the early birthday present. That is insane. Thank you so much for the love. Let's get some massive W's down below in the chat for the $50 from Renee on PayPal. That is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you for the early birthday present. That puts a huge smile on my face. Thank you so much,
it does make me kind of proud though to hear you do stuff like that, because it's just like a normal Democrat. Every time you start to get pulled wrong on something, you just want to jump onto something completely different to make them hush for a second so we can move on to a new point when you get done with it. So what's your next question?
I want you to be able to finish out your point, man. I was just reading out a donation. But before you do, I'd also like to say here, thank you for the hand hearts. Jennifer, thank you so much for the $25 on PayPal saying that neurodivergence is a superpower. Happy early birthday, Jennifer. I really appreciate you for the love as well. Let's get some W's in the chat for Jennifer and Renee. Thank you guys so much. Massive W's down below for Jennifer and Renee. Thank you so much, you guys. Anyways, Damien, I wanted to go and address what you had said. Y'all, I can't hear you when you're off of the live. Make sure to come back. So you said individuals pursue liability claims in civil courts when they don't have enough evidence to prove it in a criminal court. That's not necessarily true. Okay, the reason that they couldn't pursue criminal conviction in this context was because the statute of limitations had passed, right, to bring rape to a criminal court in the state of New York. Right. I'd also make the claim, right, that the evidence submitted by E. Jean Carroll in this particular case, right, proved that Trump had raped her beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt. If you disagree with me here, I just ask you which piece of evidence you reject and why.
Let's just put it this way. Let's just put it this way. She came out there out of absolutely fucking nowhere. What was this? A year after he got pulled in as president and started doing this, the second Joe Biden and all of his people started to get pressed about how he so-called rigged the election, which, I mean, I guess he did, because that's proven too. You like to talk about all the stuff he did, but don't like to talk about nothing.
So you think that this happened about the 2020? You think that this happened after the 2020 election? That already tells me exactly how.
No, I don't think it happened after. I think it was said to have happened before. She didn't come out till after, and he became a big face, and she thought she could get some money.
Yeah, so that just shows me how uninformed you are about this particular court case. So, like, the confidence that you were portraying earlier by calling me a typical Democrat, saying that I didn't want to talk about things where I know that I'd get hushed, is hilarious, because you just made the claim that this got brought to light after the 2020 election. She started pursuing civil litigation in 2019. Get your facts straight there, buddy. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know one piece of evidence that she submitted to the court to prove Trump greater?
I'm honestly, listen. So let's put it this way too.
Is that a no? Is that the way we're going to put it?
Everything you like to come out here and say, you've looked up one piece from a Democratic Party and immediately are just like, okay, Kamala Harris has a good word, so that must mean the rest of the Democratic Party is going to get better.
Okay,
Right.
so what is it? So this is like
I want you to understand that we have. I want you to understand.
Wait, Damien, I'm going to go ahead and stop you there, buddy. That is like a legitimate red herring. So you can't just obfuscate right away from the question that I ask you by instead making some broad generalized statement of where I get my information from. That was embarrassing at best. So Damien, I'm going to go ahead and repeat my question once again. So can you name one piece of evidence that the prosecutor submitted to the court to prove Trump greater?
Either way we go, either it's with Kamala Harris or it's with Trump, we're getting fucked. So either way we go, I'm gonna go with the guy who likes to put his finger down and tell people to shut the fuck up, so that America stops putting their nose into stuff. And
I'm going to put my finger down on the phone screen and make you shut the fuck up, because I want to point out the astoundingly hilarious fact that about a minute and a half ago, you made the claim that this typical Democrat is pivoting and changing the subject when he's blown out of the water and he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Chat, did he make that claim? I just want to give Chad a second to respond. Did he make that claim, chat? Did Damien say that? Let me just wait for a second. We need to wait for the delay. Yep. So, chat, look at this typical Republican trying to pivot and change the topic as soon as he's blown out of the water and has no fucking clue what he's saying. Damien, Books, go ahead. I'll let you pivot. I'll let you run away.
oh wait, here we go. Microphone's on. Let's once again talk about the fact that you just
Shelly, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. Let's get some massive W's in the chat for Shelly for the $20 on PayPal, saying thank you for kicking that POS. Of course. I really appreciate you, Shelly, for the $20 on PayPal. W's for Shelly in the chat. Go ahead. I'll let you pivot.
All right, so listen, I love the fact that you immediately jumped in straight to Republican, but what you failed to mention is about 5 seconds ago, I also said that either way we go, we get fucked. So obviously I'm not a Republican. Obviously I'm not a Democrat. Obviously I've told you both of them are fucked. I'm just saying Trump seems to get more shit done than the rest of them, probably because he doesn't care and actually wants to get some shit done. So
wait, I can empirically dispute that. I think that's a lie. So I think that the Biden-Harris administration was much more effective than Trump's administration.
So how?
They influenced policies such as the PACT Act, investing nearly $1 billion into the expansion of healthcare benefits. The Chips and Science Act, bringing manufacturing jobs for chips to here back home in America. 20% of the global chip supply will be produced here home in America by 2030. The infrastructure bill, investing $1 trillion into local infrastructure across America to spur their local economies and to create construction jobs. The Inflation Reduction Act, the American Rescue Plan. We could talk about it all. Right, but you're saying that Trump got more shit done while he was president. What is one piece of legislation that Trump influenced to get passed while he was president that you liked?
He couldn't get anything passed because nobody fucking let him do anything. So he had to shut everything down to get something passed.
That's completely false. That's also contradiction. You just said he couldn't get anything passed, so he had to shut things down to get bills passed. So what was one bill that he passed that you liked?
This dude.
So how can you say that Trump would get more done as the president when I was able to name 5 pieces of legislation that the Biden-Harris administration got done, and you can't even name one piece of legislation that Trump got done? You are showing your bias, you are showing your ignorance, and you are showing us all 5.3 thousand of us, how and uninformed you are.
I want you to understand, I bet half of these people are just, ow, motherfucker, that hurt. I bet half these people are just sitting here laughing at you, Bubba.
Oh, like I'm sitting here laughing at you, intellectually mocking.
I want you to understand, you can sit there and laugh all you want to, but when Trump wins again, you'll be butthurt just like the rest of them and try to get him on more stuff.
Who were we laughing at? Who are we laughing at, chat? Let's see it. Who are we laughing at? Who are we laughing at? Let me know. Let me know. Also, you can't pull the card that I'm going to be butthurt if Trump is reelected as the president. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, man, that sucks. I'm going to talk about it for the next 4 years. But you know what Republicans
and then I'm going to talk about it for the next 4 years.
When specifically lost, you know what they did? They stormed the Capitol. They incited an insurrection upon the Capitol. Trump tried to steal the election from Biden, rigging state votes, sending them to
So the American people decided. The American people decided.
Butthurt after the results of the 2020 election that he tried to rig it.
The American people deciding to storm the Capitol by themselves was Trump's doing.
What was Trump's doing was sending fake slates of electorates to 7 different states to cast fake certificates of ascertainment to college to be counted as real, to certify himself as the president even though he lost. That is what Trump did when he lost. That is the actions of Republicans today, and that is why you can no longer pull the card. Oh, liberals would be so butthurt.
You're sitting here talking about Trump. You're telling me you have nothing better with your life to do?
Oh, I have nothing better to do than my life, but then to stream to 5.3 thousand people intellectually mocking Trump supporters, earning an income because this is what I love.
Do you know how many people are in America?
It's such a terrible thing to be doing with my time.
You know how many people are in America compared to the 5.3 thousand people who could honestly do absolutely nothing? Do you know how electoral votes work? I bet if all 5.3 thousand of these people, I bet if all 5.3 thousand.
Can we get a baby bottle in the chat? Hey guys, can we get some baby bottles in the chat for Damien?
I promise you I'm not jealous of somebody who lives in their mom's basement.
Oh, there's the jealousy right there, buddy. Let's get some baby bottles in the chat for the whiner. Why are you crying, bro? I'm here for debates. Are you here to cry or debate?
Promise you I'm not jealous about somebody who lives in their mom's basement, bro.
Crying again. You need to be.
Let me go ahead and say this. The 5.3
One second, Damien. I gotta ask you. Do you need a binky?
The 5.3 thousand people that you're so proud of, once it comes down to an electoral vote, probably won't mean shit compared to the rest of them. So
do you need a binky, a Kleenex, or a pacifier?
Yeah, that'd be great right now.
Baby bottles. Damien, why are you crying on my life?
That'd be absolutely amazing. You got one? Shit, I'll come over there and get it right now.
So you went from debating to just like crying. Why? Did you lose that hard?
I'm just talking. I want to understand. No. This is amusing for me because I just want to understand what your point is.
Roxanne, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Let's get some massive W's in the chat for Roxanne. Thank you to Roxanne for the $15 on Venmo. Thank you so much.
I figured it out. You enjoy taking money from dumbass Democrats. I get it. That makes so much more sense now.
Okay, why is Roxanne catching a stray? Dude, oh my God. You know what? That's the intelligence of the right there, ladies and gentlemen. Roxanne, you are not a quote-unquote dumbass Democrat. Have no clue why you caught a stray. I appreciate you for the love. Someone is just a little angry. Someone's a little angry. Hello, are you voting for Trump?
Yeah, I am, man. What's going on?
Okay, why so?
I'm voting for Trump just because that's my standpoint. I've always been Republican, and I haven't had any type of persuasion to get me to switch to the other side of any sort. Especially after seeing the last election when it came down to Biden. When it came down to Biden, all I seen was just an old man puppet being there as a public figure while everybody else did their own type of thing they wanted to do behind the screen.
Okay, can you give me any evidence that like Biden or who's Biden a puppet of?
The whole Democratic Party. Everybody made the choices for him. He couldn't have a clear interview.
Wait, I'm a part of the Democratic Party. Does it mean that Biden's a puppet of me?
Never no questions right.
Ebony, thank you for the $20 on PayPal from a dumbass Democrat. I appreciate you for the love. Let's get some massive W's down below for Ebony. Seriously, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. $20 on PayPal. I really appreciate you for the love. Let's get some massive W's for Ebony in the chat. Thank you for the $20 on PayPal. So I just want to clarify here. So you're saying that Biden was a puppet of the Democrat Party. I'm a part of the Does that mean that Biden was a puppet of me?
No, not of the electors, but of the people who were in the office.
Okay, like who specifically?
The people who run anybody in a higher power that had their say of what they wanted
Also,
to get
guys,
done.
the lag is fixed.
Basically ran.
The lag is fixed. Here's my thoughts. Here's my thoughts on this. Also, guys, the lag is good. I know that it was lagging there for a little bit, but we got back on the Wi-Fi. It just shut down, but it's back up now. For everybody, the lag's all good. Anyways, so yeah, back to specifically what I was saying here. You are so fucking mad that Daddy Biden left you. You are so mad. This is all that you cry about every single day. You are so fucking mad that Joe Biden left you. You wanted him to continue running. You have like abandonment issues because Joe Biden left you. How does it feel? Are you really sad?
Huh?
You've been crying on my live for the last 3 minutes about how Joe Biden was controlled by the elites with no fucking evidence, just a fringe conspiratorial bullshit claim. Meanwhile, he's not even running for the presidency.
You're talking about a guy who can't even comprehend a sentence, though. You're talking about a guy who can't speak publicly without stuttering.
So do you want to talk about? Let's talk. Ableism. Yeah. So ableism, yeah, talking about a stutter, yeah, super bright. So I just want to clarify here, you're going to shit on Biden for having a stutter, but then you're going to go ahead and defend Trump even though he's raped a woman, sexualized little girls, boasted about grabbing women by the P word without consent, boasted about walking into the changing rooms of half-naked teenage girls to inspect them, and even tried to steal the election from Biden in 2020. Really? Or is that what you're going to do?
So accusations, edited clips, and voice actors?
Accusations, edited clips, and voice actors. Look at this fucking bright guy on the live. How many? I have a question. How many continents are there?
7.
Name them.
Nah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Tanya, thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo for being pro-woman. I really appreciate you for the love. Thank you so much for the love. Let's get some massive W's in the chat for Tanya. Thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo. Massive W's. I just have a question. Well, one second. In the meantime, guys, make sure that we're tapping away. I just got to type this into YouTube real quick.
I came here more for persuasion because I don't really know what's going on.
Wait, I have a question. So do you think that this right here is a voice actor?
Thursday night. You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
No, that's an actual clip. But I'm saying not all of them are accurate, and not all of them are real.
So, like, what specific ones are inaccurate and not real?
I haven't looked into it too much, but if you look at the Joe Rogan interviews where he was talking about him, he was simply saying that majority of these clips that you see nowadays have either been edited, forged by mainstream media outlets in order to make a public figure look bad.
So here's your issue. Here's the big issue.
And he says that you don't even know what things Trump says is real anymore. You don't know what things Kamala Harris says is real anymore. You don't know.
So here's the issue. These clips are from the 90s and early 2000s. Everything I just referenced, the Access Hollywood tapes, where he was recorded talking about how he just wants to kiss women. He can't hold himself back without asking. He likes to grab them by the P word too. That was from the Access Hollywood tapes in the early 2000s. Same thing was with his interview with Howard Stern on Sirius XM, early 2000s. Howard Stern has even talked about that multiple times since then. These are real. They've happened, man. I think your issue is the denial of reality and just like engaging in cult-like behaviors.
No, it's not really that, to be quite frankly honest. I'm just not really big into the loop of social media or anything at all. I don't use Instagram. I don't use Facebook. I don't use Twitter.
Thank you so much for the gift, for the confetti, Claire, and thank you for the subscription as well. So just once again to clarify, why are you voting for the racist, misogynistic, rapist, felon, wannabe dictator and day one fascist over Kamala Harris?
I don't know. I feel like he's already been president once. He can do it again pretty well. And he was also the only president to actually lose money in office instead of get gain from it. So.
Okay, yeah. So then he turned around and spent $140 million of taxpayers' money on golfing at his private estate, and his daughter made $640 million while he was president. Crazy, right? So specifically what I'd ask you here is, you said that he was a good president while he was already president. What is one like policy that he influenced to get passed while he was already president that you thought was pretty good? Okay, you think he's running away? Okay, well, I mean, we'll see if he comes back, but in the meantime, we're going to go and get our next guest up in here as well. For the 4.8, oh, he's back. Christian, welcome back. Hi, Ladybugs, are you voting for Trump?
Sure am.
Okay, all right, well, Christian's back, so feel free to stay on the live. I don't know what he's doing. Christian, by the way, if you don't see me, I can't hear you, so I guess I'll talk to you in like, the meantime, Ladybugs, while he's figuring his shit out. Why do you care about someone that doesn't care about you? Trump is vehemently sexist and doesn't give a shit about women.
No, that's your opinion, and you can have that opinion, but I think you're wrong.
Okay, well, like, so he's raped a woman, he sexualized little girls, boasted about grabbing women by the P word without consent. I could go on and on and on.
Yeah, same talking points. You have the same, like, 5 talking points every single live.
Well, maybe
you say the same thing in every single live. You have the same talking points. And then when you get proven wrong, you start asking people redundant questions like, how many continents are there? How many states are there? How old are you, Dean? Are you 19, 20, 15?
Yeah, I'm 19.
How old are you?
So I typically
Okay.
would ask an individual how many
So I have
continents
about
there are.
30 years on you, and I can say that you make, there's no logic behind any of your points that you try to make. You resort to the same talking points every single time. And every single time somebody proves you wrong, you shout into the microphone and thank someone for the gifts that they send you. For some odd reason, they're sending you gifts. It's pretty hilarious, actually. But if that's how you need to make a living, that's fine.
Okay.
It's just sad.
First of all, can you give me an example of like a guest who's proved me wrong on this live?
The guy that was up there just two guests ago, I forgot his name, but he had some really good points, and you didn't want to hear it. You wouldn't let him speak.
How did he prove
You
me
talked
wrong?
over him. You talked over him to the point where it became annoying, probably to all your listeners.
Brad, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo saying I'm 50 years old and Dean spits the facts. Thank you for the love, Brad. W's for Brad in the chat. So, like, what argument did he make that proved me wrong?
I don't know. You guys were arguing about something, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Can I talk about the Arlington
He proved me
Cemetery
wrong,
issue?
but you don't. So I just want to clarify.
Can I
here real
argue
quick.
about the Arlington Cemetery issue?
Yeah, that's fine, but let's just give it 1 second. First of all, I just wanted to say, so you're saying that this guest proved me wrong, but you don't know what his argument was that proved me wrong, and you don't really want to talk about it too much. Also, secondarily,
No, there was a lot of
right?
talking going on. There was a lot of talking and interrupting, so it was really hard to follow. And then the lag on the connection was really bad.
Yeah, I just wanted to also clarify here real quick. So you said that you don't believe that Trump is sexist, and that's just my opinion. Then I gave you multiple instances, right, which I believe are absolutely conducive towards sexism, and then you just called them talking points and kind of brushed them off. So regardless if you think they're a talking point or not, these are things that have happened, and these are things that are definitely conducive towards sexism. Can you explain to me how they're not?
They're absolutely not. Like, it's not, you don't make a point with anything you say. That's my point. I come on here to talk about something legitimate, like something that happened 3 days ago.
Logan, thank you Alyssa, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal. I don't really want to read your comment off, but she said she makes me feel embarrassed to be a woman. That's insane, Alyssa, but I do appreciate you for your support. Thank you for the $10
I'm sorry
on PayPal.
you feel that way, Alyssa. Sorry.
Thank you for the $10 though. So anyways,
Trump made a trip. Trump made a trip to the Arlington Cemetery.
We could talk about
3 days ago.
we could talk about Arlington Cemetery second, but first want to reference the point that you kind of just discredited and brushed off. Okay, and second, Molly, thank you for the $5 on Venmo.
We don't need to talk about the previous guests.
No, we're not talking about the.
We don't need to
previous
keep
guest.
talking about the previous guest.
I want to talk about the first point that I brought up when you joined the live. Okay, so I made the claim
But I'm not
that
going
Trump
to do that.
Okay, are you scared?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I want to talk about valid issues that are actually.
Is sexism not a valid
conversations
issue?
that people are having the last few days? You know, the
It's like,
grafting
is sexism
thing,
not
the
a-
sexism thing.
Is sexism not a valid
it's the same
issue?
old stuff.
How
I don't
can
see
you
how
as a
you, like,
woman
don't want to talk about something different?
How can you as a woman say that sexism as committed by men in great positions of power is not an issue? How can you
I never
say
said that. I didn't say it wasn't an
it was
issue. I said I
implied
don't wanna
because you
talk
said that
about
you
it.
wanted to talk. You said that you didn't want to talk about it because you want to talk about valid issues. I'd say that sexism is a valid issue that needs discussion. In fact, the reason I'd say you don't want to talk about it is because you know that you'll
Because you're
lose.
skirting
and you're
around the
scared of
fact that
actual
Kamala
productive
doesn't have any
conversation.
policies that she's going to implement, and you can't list any detail about her policies and how she's going to implement them. You mentioned the
I
housing thing.
absolutely
That was
can.
one thing you were talking about with that. Yeah. How is she going to do that? How is she going to give everybody the $25,000?
Yeah, sure.
Where's that
Actually, I
money
think
going to come from?
Great question. So you're asking me what Harris's proposed economic policy is and how she's going to pay for it. I'm going to go ahead and answer this question. I think it's important for everyone to be informed on this. So there's going to be a couple highlights.
What I want to know is how you have the answer. How come you have the answer and nobody else does? You're only 19 years old. So where do you get all the answers from, Dean?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I get my answers insofar as what her proposed policy is and how she's going to pay for it directly from her campaign, from her social media accounts, from her CNN interview, from the DNC, and what else has been released by her campaign. Right. I'm going to go ahead and answer this though. You also said you're implying that I can't really know much about this because I'm only 19. Ma'am, I'm 19 years old. I'm
Right.
probably a half of your age, but I'm so much smarter than you will ever be, and I want to make sure that's known.
No. I think that's your
Anyways,
ego
to go
talking,
back-
and you need to step back and realize that all you know is from textbooks and what you see on social media. I grew up at an age where we didn't have social media, and we had to rely on each other, and it was a lot different world back then. So, of course, this is why you keep repeating all your talking points over and over and over. There's nothing new. There's no new content to any of your feeds.
Well, you did actually just
let's
ask
talk
me
about
Ladybugs,
let's
I would
talk
like to
about
clarify here. Wait 1 second. Calm down, please. You asked me a new question that I guess hasn't asked me before, that being, what is Kamala Harris's proposed economic policy and how is she going to pay for it? So do you want me to answer that or not? Because honestly, I've been trying to answer that and you've been incessantly interrupting me. So which one is it? Do you want an answer or do you not
Go
want
ahead.
an answer? Phenomenal. So let's talk
want
about
you
her
to
proposed
answer.
economic policy. So she specifically
do
wants to... One moment. She specifically wants to increase the child tax credit to $6,000 for any newborn to the age of 1, $3,600 for any kid from the age of 1 to 5, and $3,000 from anybody from the age of 5 to 17. She also wants to introduce a $25,000 first-time homebuyer subsidy for newly developed properties. This will help create new affordable houses in places where people want to live. She also wants to limit the amount that any American citizen would pay for prescription drug costs to under $2,000 per year, which is phenomenal. And she wants to allow Medicare a greater ability to negotiate the price of drug costs with insurance and pharmaceutical companies. Okay, and this proposed tax policy over the course of the next 10 years will cost $2.4 trillion. And she intends to pay for her proposed tax policy by increasing the corporate tax rate from 21 to 28%, by introducing an unrealized capital gains tax on centimillionaires, and increase in the realized capital gains tax for centimillionaires as well. By also giving Medicare a greater negotiation ability with pharmaceutical companies will raise about $200 billion over the course of the next 10 years. This will generate exactly $2.4 trillion, making Harris's tax policy self-sustainable. Now, the question I want to ask you in return is, Trump says he wants to reinstitute his Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. That will cost the American taxpayer $3.4 trillion in debt-related spending over the next 10 years. And Ladybugs, how's he going to pay for that?
Yeah, actually, that's not true at all. And one key word you kept repeating over and over during your last response was she wants. Wants. That's your key word. She wants. Ideas are great, and they sound great on the surface to get a vote. But it seems to me like if you were for sure that she was actually going to implement these the way that she says, you would say she's going to by this specifically or that specifically. She wants. You can want all the stuff in the world and not make it happen. Just like she's been a part of the administration for 4 years and hasn't done any of the stuff she's promising right now just to get a vote.
Okay. Yeah, so real quick, I'm going to thank a couple donors, but the reason I'd say that she wants to do these things and not that she's going to do those things is because she's not guaranteed to win the presidential election. And she also needs congressional support.
You seem
I would like to clarify
guaranteed
here,
that she's going
without interruption this time, Ladybugs, I would like to clarify here, right, that she wants to do these things, right, but she needs to become a president first and gain congressional support. I think that was a very weird hill for you to die on, to say, instead of responding to the in-depth nuances I gave you about her proposed tax policy, or even respond to the question that I asked you at the end, which you completely pivoted around, how specifically is Trump going to pay for his tax policy, you instead decided to go on a tangent about some utter fucking bullshit. Now I wanted to respond to the last bit of that tangent. Without interruption this time, I want to go on the last part of your tangent. You specifically made the claim, well then why hasn't she done these things over the course of the last 4 years? She ran away. What a typical Trump supporter. She ran away. She has done a lot over the course of the last 4 years. She's cast more tie-breaking votes in the Senate than any VP that we've ever had, right? And she's instituted some of the most effective and monumental legislation in modern U.S. history to do the CHIPS and Science Act, PACT Act, Infrastructure Bill, Inflation Reduction Act, and American Rescue Plan. And specifically speaking, I'd say that they have an incredibly phenomenal administration. Typical Trump supporter. Typical Republican running away. But I do have some massive donations to thank here, so I just wanted to read them off real quick while our next guest is loading in. Holy cow, y'all are going insane. Christina, first of all, with the $25 on Venmo. Christina, thank you so much for the love. I want to see some massive W's in the chat for Christina. Thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo. Christina saying to shut them down. Tamisha with the $10 on Venmo saying being smarter than old Ladybug. Thank you for the $10, Tamisha. That was hilarious. Thank you for the love. And Elizabeth with the $65 on Venmo saying that I am 65 and you deserve respect only because you work with facts. Let's go, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for the $65 on Venmo. That is insane. Thank you so much for the insane level of love. Massive W's for Elizabeth, Tamisha, and Christina down below. And Debbie with the $10 and Jesse with the $10 as well. Thank you so much, Debbie and Jesse. You guys are great. Thank you so much for the love. And Morgan with the $10 as well for dunking on the maggots. Thank you so much, Morgan, Jesse, Debbie, Elizabeth, Tamisha, and Christina. You all are awesome. Thank you guys so much. What's going on, Gmo? Are you voting for Trump?
Can y'all?
All right, sorry, he was just taking too long. Sydney, thank you for the $5 on Venmo for cooking the MAGA cult. I appreciate you so much for the love, Sydney. You are great. Thank you so much. What's going on? Are you voting for Trump? All right, they're not here. Hey, guys, if you're a MAGA, let me know in the comment section. I'm going to go ahead and start pulling y'all up from the chat in comparison to the queue because there's a lot of people that are AFK in the queue. So let's go and get that going right now. Yeah, let's go and get our next guest up in the box literally right now, chat. So everyone just do give us a minute. Let's go to get Evan White, 1029 up in the box here, y'all. Everyone just do give us a minute here, chat. Facts over feelings. Exactly, y'all. See, we need to value facts over feelings, and that's something that Trump supporters don't do. They just like to whine, complain, and lie, okay? But let's go and get our next guest up in the box literally right now, so everyone just do be patient. And do double tap on that phone screen in the meantime. We're actually very close to 1 million likes. That would be phenomenal.
What time was it when you said we love?
Oh, MAGA Mobile. Sorry, man. Hey, what's going on? Are you voting for Trump?
Hello?
Hey, what's up, man? Are you voting for Trump?
I would say I'm in the middle, but probably leaning more towards Trump.
Yeah, would you ever vote for someone that's been held civilly liable for grape?
Sorry, hold on. Can you give me 1 second? I would not say I support rape, but I would say both sides seems to have their evil doing, but his is just always on display.
Yeah, so what evil doing of Kamala Harris is comparable to grape?
Well, I'll just give an example, when he was on stage with Hillary and he's like, I've broken the law, I've used the tax benefits, but you have too. And you can stop it.
Do you mind if you answer my question though? So what evil doing, what evil things has Harris done that is comparable to grape?
I wouldn't say comparable, but a lot of people say she sent a lot of innocent black men to jail.
Okay, yeah. So you'd be referencing while she was DA, and you're referencing small petty crimes related to DRUG use. Okay, so only 45 people were sentenced to jail while she was DA for the use of this DRUG, right? And then California crime stats at the time didn't report race or gender. This has just been a talking point used by Republicans to virtue signal on behalf of the African American community. And then third of all, in 2014, she said that we need to end the war on drugs and federally decriminalize use of the M drug. And then in 2018, she signed on congressional legislation to do exactly that, but it failed.
I mean, that's fine. As an African American myself, I would prefer someone who's hard on crime. To be honest, I've seen what it does to communities. So.
Okay, so your claim before was that she was hard on crime and this is a bad thing.
No. I didn't say hard on crime. I said she sent innocent. Innocent and hard on crime is two different things.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you mean by innocent then? What are you referencing?
Sorry, well, can you say your question?
What particular innocent people did she send to jail?
I don't know them specifically. I'm just saying you asked me to say something bad about her, and I said,
Can you give me a source for this, that she sent innocent people to jail?
Can I make my point? Because you're just kind of taking what I'm not wanting to talk about, and you're running with it 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, sorry, man. I just thought I'd ask for evidence for what you said, right? Because your original claim was that, Trump is a bad person.
No,
he is a rapist. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No,
my original claim was Trump's shit that's bad is front and center, but other politicians' shit that's bad is not. And when he's called them out on it, nothing happens. We pretend like they don't do it.
Wait, Trump shit is bad. I'd say that Trump's bad shit is front and center because that's the worst shit we've ever seen in a presidential candidate in modern U.S. history. Okay, we need to consider that maybe the fact that he's a rapist should be front and center. Maybe the fact that he's attempted to one moment, please. Norman, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal. Let's get some W's in the chat. Thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal. Massive W's for Norman. Thank you so much for the love on PayPal, Norman. The fact that he's attempted to overthrow our government and rig an election to steal it from Biden in 2020 should be front and center. The fact that he's in a vehemently racist and sexist past should be front and center. The fact that he passed...
I don't think he's racist.
Okay, is denying opportunity to a black person because they're black racist?
When you look at his past, Trump has always been with the rappers, always been with the actors, always been around black spaces, always put his money towards, different black ideas that has made money. And then once he became a presidential candidate, everyone... Oh, he's racist. It used to be cool. I went to a school when I was 9.
The white slave owners, they were always around their black slaves, but they are always around their black slaves because they benefited from their black slaves. Do you think it's possible that Donald Trump has been around predominant members of the African American community as it may serve to benefit him in the polls?
That's what they all do. I just saw Megan Thee Stallion twerking at a DNC. You think it takes someone twerking to keep my attention?
Okay, so now you're saying that specifically speaking, that Megan Thee Stallion at a rally was bad. I don't think it's bad at all.
I didn't say it was bad, but I'm not watching a political rally.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
I mean, go ahead. It's your show. Go ahead.
Yeah. Would you say that denying opportunity to a black person because they're black is racist?
I would say no, but I'll also say giving me an opportunity because I'm black is racist. I mean, sorry, I would say yes, but I would say giving me an opportunity because I'm black is also racist.
How?
Like, let me earn it. I've outworked a bunch of people to be where I'm at. And now I'm literally seeing my company or companies that I have friends at hire people who look like me for the simple fact that you're black. Like, don't give me advantage. I'm just as smart as anyone. I don't need my skin tone to help me.
Okay, yeah. So I just let's talk about additional opportunity given to members of the African American community that may not be given to their white counterpart, and how that's not racist, real quick, right? But then I would like to get back on track with the idea that Trump has done racist things in his past. So specifically speaking, imagine that you're playing a game of Monopoly with your friends.
You don't have to do what ifs. I'm black. I've dealt with racists and I've dealt with real racists.
I would like to be able to make this point just real quick. And Brittany, thank you so much for the $5. I've been I appreciate you for the love.
So then let me get my point out without being cut off. But go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, you said that that's racist. So imagine that you and your friends were playing a game of Monopoly. You started with $15 and they started with $50. If you got granted $35 later on in the game, was that unfair?
I would say no, because they were at.
So if the average white American starts with generational wealth in a society in which is not socially or legally scrutinized against them, right, for the particular reason that they'd be on top of the social ladder insofar as them controlling the majority of government positions of power, institutions, etc., would you say that it's racist to grant more opportunity to the members of the African American community because of the detriment that slavery and its aftermath has served to them in the context of reduction of generational wealth, a lower socioeconomic standard on average, and legal equality for only 65 years?
I would say this. I would say Africans could come to this country and do better than African Americans do in this country. And if this country was racist, then how does that happen?
Well, I think that we could recognize here that two things could be true at once. I think the predominant issue that we observe today, right, isn't racism in the context of our legislation. I feel for the most part, we still may have a little bit more work to do with ending the war on drugs, right, reforming the criminal justice system and law enforcement to specifically stop the over incarceration of black people, right, because of the incredibly high exoneration rates associated with black people that are arrested and taken to court. We have to fixate on that, of course, but we all have other predominant issues that would pertain socially speaking with lower off socioeconomic standards on average, right, the lack of generational wealth, social discrimination, less social opportunity, etc. But to justify my original claim that Trump is racist, right, you did say that denying a black person opportunity.
I said that is racist, and denying anyone.
And that's what Trump has done in 1973. In 1973,
I agree, but then Joe Biden told us that we shouldn't let the jungle in schools. Is that racist?
So actually, right, that's actually not something that Joe Biden said, but I will admit Joe Biden does have a racist past with other comments that just doesn't happen to be one.
Thank you. I appreciate your honesty on that.
Do you want to finish though?
Yeah, but you're not letting me finish. We keep cutting each other off, so it's kind of like both of us doing this to each other. So I don't know if we need a timer where you get to talk and I get to talk.
I've just been trying to make a point about how Trump is racist, and we've just subverted off into a billion things.
But I agree. But I'm saying Trump can be racist and the other side is racist, but then
okay, so Trump is racist. So yeah, so I'm voting for the non-racist over the racists.
No, I agree, but okay, I'll give you an example. Right. If there's an old, angry, racist white guy, right, and he impacts me one day out of my 35 years of being on this planet, that's an issue, yeah. But then I would like to focus on the issue that impacts my livelihood every day. So it's I have worked with the racists in the past and it fucking sucks. But I do think that there's more important.
So you're actively admitting that you are voting for the racists over the non-racists.
No, what I'm saying is when Joe Biden and Trump, those were the two last candidates who were running, right? They both have racist past. Did you just say that?
Yes, but particularly the difference between the difference. 1 second. Don't just let me just say one word. Let me finish. Thank you.
How come I don't get to talk? Why do you get to
Chad, am I letting him talk?
No, let me just ask one question. If Joe Biden and Trump are both racist, as a black man, I'm looking at two racists. So I have to choose between one or the other, right or wrong?
So specifically, the difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump is that Joe Biden has came out, held himself accountable, and apologized for racist comments in which he's made in the past, in comparison to Trump, who's never apologized for a damn thing in his life. However, you're not going to cut me off. I'm going to continue speaking. If you cut me off, I'll mute you. I'm trying to remain cordial, though. But specifically speaking, Biden's not in the race.
Right.
Kamala Harris. One second. I just told you not to cut me off, please, sir. Kamala Harris is in the race. Kamala Harris is not racist. In November, I am voting for the non-racists over the racists. Why aren't you?
Okay, now do I get to talk?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I'm talking about the last election. My actions where I had to choose between two races. Now to answer your question.
Yes, I responded to that. I'm talking about this election. I did grant that a response though, right? I talked about how Joe Biden has held himself accountable, right? Changed and apologized for his racism. Trump never did. But we're talking about this election. I'm voting for the non-racists over the racists. Why aren't you?
I'm trying to get to it. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is I've usually, up until the Obama or Kamala election, have always had to choose between the lesser of two devils when it comes to racism. So now to get specifically on this election, what I'm saying is because I've had to continuously vote knowing both of these candidates are racist, this is probably one of two elections where, okay, there's someone who isn't racist up there. You see what I'm saying? Because Kamala is not racist. Obama was not racist, right? But most elections have two racists. Now to get to this election, yes, Kamala is not racist, but what I'm saying is that's not the only thing that I can use as a determining factor. Like as a black man, when I go to a job, there's usually racist people sitting on that board. If I only make my decisions on who's racist and who isn't racist, I literally would not be able to work in this country, right?
Yeah, I need to thank two people for donations real quick. John, first of all, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo, saying from an older man who admires your ability to use logic and scientific reasoning to reduce MAGA liars to runners. I appreciate you for the love, John. Let's get some W's for John in the chat. And to Misha, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, saying I'm a 57-year-old black lady, and you're right, Dean. They make no sense. I appreciate you for the love, Tamisha. Let's get some W's in the chat for Tamisha right now. I thank you so much. W's for John and Tamisha. Yeah.
To the donators, that's amazing. Kudos.
So yeah, like specifically, like why are you voting for the racists over the non-racists? You're saying that there's other like things that you would like to consider, and that's what I'm asking you for. Like, what are the other considerations here that are making you vote for the racists over the non-racists?
Okay, cool. So now that we're off the racist, because I didn't want to talk too much on that, because like you just have to deal with that.
You just conceded that he's racist and she's not racist. That's the answer I wanted. We're good. So yeah, why vote for the racists over the non-racists? What are the other considerations that you're making here?
Things that I would consider. Just tax relief for the middle class, freedom of choice when it comes to, well, let me not even talk on that, but just like tax relief, bringing things in-house, having more secure borders, I'm for immigration, as long as you come through the right way. My parents' parents were immigrants. Just the deregulation, because when government seems to have too much power, then it just never seems to go well. I'm not sure why. So I'm just saying like, the past, 12 of, sorry, did you want to talk? I see you raising your hand. Okay, go ahead, sorry.
You said you're voting for Trump because of relief for the middle class. So Biden and Harris passed 4 big pieces of legislation that provided more relief to the low and the middle class than the top 1%. PACT Act, Infrastructure Bill, Inflation Reduction Act, and the Chips and Science Act. Can you name one piece of legislation that Donald Trump signed into law and influenced to get passed while he was president that benefited the low and the middle class more than the top 1%?
I can't specifically name the name of the legislation. I do know that he signed a bill where I was seeing more money on my paycheck. I'm not sure if it was the tax cuts or the job acts, but I saw my paycheck, like I saw that dollar amount increase. I don't know exactly what it was called, but I know for a fact, I'm like, whoa, it's surprising to see something happen in government and actually see it on my paycheck.
Dory, thank you so much for the $30 on Venmo for the TikTok influencer, Dory. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much for the $30 on Venmo. I want to make sure that we get some massive W's for Dory in that chat. That is Dauree in the chat right now. Thank you for the $30. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much for the love. Massive W's for Dory. I hear what you're saying. You're talking about his Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and how that benefited the middle class through tax cuts. So first of all, right? 83% of the tax cuts in that bill went to the top 1%. Second of all, it footed a bill of $1.9 trillion in debt-related spending on the American taxpayers. And third of all, it only led to an average annual GDP increase of 0.02%. Next, let's talk about Harris and Trump. So Harris wants to reduce taxes for over 100 million American workers in the low and middle class by increasing the child tax credit, making a first-time homebuyer subsidy for new property, and then like no tax on tips and like renegotiation of prescription drug prices.
No tax on tips. I actually thought his side said it first and she followed, but either way, they both have admitted to wanting to do that.
Yeah, so that's one policy where they agree on, like caps on prescription drug prices for like the American consumer, only like allowing individuals to pay about $2,000 a year for any prescription drug to renegotiate drug prices with pharmaceutical companies. So those are the tax cuts, right, that Harris wants to institute. Now, what does Trump want to do? Right, he wants to destroy the low and the middle class by replacing the federal tax income with tariffs, which are regressive and will make the low and middle class be disproportionately affected because they disproportionately pay more of their income towards the bare necessities to live. His proposed tax policy will disintegrate and destroy the low and the middle class. Meanwhile, Harris's proposed tax policy will benefit them. So if you care about benefiting the low and middle class, why are you voting for the person who will destroy it over the person that will help alleviate some of those tax burdens?
I would say this, when I was completely, I wouldn't say lower class, but lower/middle class, I think Obama was coming out this. Well, let me answer your question. It seems like one side always helps the lowest class, and one side seems to help the highest. And for whatever reason, the way America is set up, when you hurt the people up top, it seems to hurt the people in the middle and at the bottom more. And if you go easy on the people up top, then it seems like the people in the middle seem to suffer less. I don't know why, but it just seems to.
So that's called trickle-down economics. Trickle-down economics was an economic theory developed by a rich man for rich men, and that's a fact. Trickle-down economics has never historically worked. Trickle-down economics actually destroys the low and middle class because under trickle-down economics, we see a stagnation of worker wages with worker productivity when that's something that we saw prior. So trickle-down economics is a failure. If you want to vote for the party that will uplift and benefit the low and the middle class, you should vote for Kamala Harris. Her proposed tax policy only benefits the low and the middle class. Her proposed tax policy will alleviate the stress associated with taxation on the low and middle class. Meanwhile, Trump's proposed policy will destroy it. Tariffs will make your groceries cost more. You pay more than the top 1% for your groceries, proportionally speaking, in comparison for your income, meaning that it will regressively, disproportionately harm you, okay? And it will harm American-owned businesses because when you tariff other countries' importation of goods, well, they tariff you back. That's why we see a reduction in exports, right, with tariffs imposed on other countries from American-owned businesses. Under Trump's tariffs on China, we saw farmers go bankrupt. We saw their companies destroyed. That's why Trump had to turn around and bail them out with $28 billion. He wants to destroy the low and the middle class and destroy American-owned businesses. And you say you care about the low and middle class.
Yeah, I mean, I care about low, middle, and high class. I don't really differentiate if you have a lot of money or no money. I would hope, the people at the bottom get the help they need. I don't think anyone needs billions and billions of dollars. I'm just saying, like, when Trump was office, I'm going to oust myself here. I was working at General Motors, and, like, we went on a hiring spree. I'm not sure if it's because he put the tariff on China and GM wanted to hire Americans, but it was an amazing run for General Motors. And like, as of last week, they just did layoffs. There's nothing in the tech market. I'm not blaming Kamala's side for this. I'm just saying, like, the plan and what they say sounds great, but like in real life, I don't know why it doesn't seem to work. I'm going off of my view in my life. Like, I'm trying to vote for people who are lower.
Yeah. I get you. You're just saying that these things happen in the country while he's president and you associate with being caused by him. So using your logic, did Trump cause the highest rate of unemployment that we've had since the Great Depression at 14.8% in April of 2020?
I would say yes, but due to COVID, and he didn't want to close the world down to COVID. I felt like the Democrats wanted to do that. And then out of nowhere, the world opened back up under Democrats, but COVID never really went away. Like, people still get COVID. I know people are getting the vaccines and I forget what you call it when you have the enhancements.
I just want to talk about the economy real quick. We could talk about COVID in a bit.
Yeah, I think before the COVID shutdown, the economy was great, but then after COVID, that year was bad, and I don't feel like that was anyone's fault because COVID was such a curveball.
Wait, but that happened under Trump's presidency. Why don't you blame it on him?
Because it's a virus. Like if a virus came out, like how does any politician's control like
Great.
sickness?
You're walking into the point here. So just because something happens in the country doesn't mean that the president is to blame, because external factors can also cause things to occur in our country.
Right.
So specifically speaking, earlier when you made the point that seemingly the economy was better under Trump in his first 3 years than it's been under Obama and Biden.
Sorry, I think I lost you. Sorry, can you repeat that? I lost you for a second.
Yeah, so your argument was because it happened under Trump's administration that it was caused by him, right? And we're refuting that logic right now, right? Just because something happens in the country under a president doesn't mean it was caused by the president. So you'd have to specifically demonstrate through policy how Trump caused you to be better off or how Biden and Harris caused you to be worse off.
But that's what I'm saying. So like something like putting a tariff on a company or a country is a direct result of a political action. So like if I say, hey, TikTok is no longer legal in America because of a bill I'm signing, I directly impact Dean and your platform. But if a meteorite strikes the earth, like that's not political. Like I didn't sign a bill to make that happen. If a virus comes out of nowhere, I didn't sign that. That's what I'm saying. So like if you politically...
you literally walked into the point. Listen to me this time. Listen to me this time. Just because something happens in the country doesn't mean that it's...
Okay, so who's responsible for the tariffs on China when Trump was in office? Who's responsible for that?
There were Trump's tariffs. I'm going to go ahead and move on. I'm sorry. We're just going to go to move on to our next guest here. Everyone just give us a minute. I was started to lose my patience with him, so we're just going to move on. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. There were Trump's tariffs, though, just to answer your question. We're going to go to move on to our next guest. Let's go into what our next guest has to say, y'all. Everyone just give us a minute. Yes, if you are so dense and cannot understand logic and then get kicked by me because you're annoying, everyone in the chat will say I lost. That's a good strat. I lost! Yes, I lost. Just kidding. No, I didn't. Fucking hell, what are y'all talking about? Get mogged. We're going to go to move on to our next guest. Let's go to see what our next guest has to say, y'all. We're going to go to get the next guest up in here. Yeah, of course I won, chat. Of course. No, that's just those are the grape supporters. Of course they're gonna say that. Don't mind them. Two rocks clacking in the brains of every single Trump supporter in the chat. Don't mind them. I don't even care. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. It's honestly like embarrassing to say that I lost in the chat. Don't mind them, chat. That is a sign of their intelligence. Don't mind them. We're going to move on to our next guest here, y'all. So everyone just give us a minute. We got Brooks loading up in the box. If you do want to support me, my Venmo, my PayPal, they are in the bio. I do appreciate everyone that has pulled through and shown insane levels of support today. Thank you for the hand hearts. What's up, Brooks? Are you voting for Trump?
Oh, I didn't mean to request. My bad.
No worries, no worries. If you are MAGA, make sure to let me know in the chat. I'm honestly just going to start inviting the people up that say I lost because I know that they'll be great people to debate. We're going to move on to our next guest here, y'all. So everyone just give me a minute to get our next guest up. If you are MAGA, make sure to let me know in the chat. Hey, is there someone in this live right now? Hi, you. Hi, yes. Hi. But the chat can't. You should hop back in the queue and I'll bring you back up. Just like exit out of the TikTok app, like literally swipe out of it, like kill the app, then hop back in the queue. We're going to move on to our next guest here, y'all. We had someone glitched into the live. Let's go to move on to our next guest here, y'all. We're going to get our next guest, send me up in the box. If you are MAGA, make sure to let me know right now in the chat. We are going to go ahead and get you up in the box. So everyone just give us 1 minute to do so. We got Damien loading in here, chat. Everyone just give us a minute to do so. All right, Tack Wade, I did invite you up, spamming MAGA down below. Jay did invite you up, spamming MAGA. All right, we are still looking for our next guest of the night, everyone, so do be patient while we get them up here. All right, phenomenal. We got our next guest loading in, y'all. We got our next guest loading in. Still inviting people up. There's a lot of people spamming. Okay, guys, please only spam MAGA in the chat if you're ready and willing to come up and debate. Like, I'm inviting so many people that are spamming MAGA and then, like, not coming up. So please, if you're spamming MAGA in the chat, make sure that you are ready and willing to debate, guys. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest here. What's going on, Cole? Are you voting for Trump?
Yep.
Okay, why so? Yo, real quick. Yo, Victoria, thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love. Let's get some massive W's in the chat for Victoria. I really appreciate you for the $25 on Venmo. That is so kind. Thank you so much. Massive W's for Victoria down below. Anyways, Cole, why are you voting for Trump?
Yeah, I'm a multi-trillionaire, and I just...
Thank you for the money again. I appreciate you for the love.
Trump's gonna...
All right, guys, if you are voting for Trump, make sure to let me know down below. That was a troll. We got our next guest loading up in the box. as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. We have about another 35 minutes on the live here today before I end to go get dinner with my dad. He's coming down for a birthday dinner. For those that don't know, it is my birthday tomorrow, which is super exciting. I will no longer be a teenager. They can no longer pull the You're 19 card. What's up, Kaylee? Are you voting for Trump?
Hi, yes, I am.
Okay. Why do you care about someone that doesn't care about you? Trump is literally a sexist.
I don't believe that he is.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say that you have no reason to not believe that he's a sexist. Meanwhile, we have a lot of reason to believe that he is.
One more time, go ahead.
He's raped a woman, he sexualized a little girl, boasted about grabbing women by the P word without asking first, and elected justices to overturn federal protections for access to abortion. He gives not a single shit
Well,
about
I could
women.
go. Okay, so I can talk about the civilly liable grape that you keep talking about. Civilly liable does not mean that it actually occurred. And
what
then
does it mean?
it just, I mean, there's multiple reasons why people settle, right? Like they can settle because of time, because of
He didn't
money.
settle.
But he did. I mean, at the end, he said he still finds himself not guilty.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He didn't settle. He was found guilty. Then he just said, no, I'm not. He did the same thing with the 34 felonies.
I
He
mean,
was
it was
convicted of
all
34
hearsay.
felonies. No, he's not.
It was hearsay, though. I don't.
Can you define hearsay?
Yeah, she said that it happened for one thing. She had witnesses, and it was just people who she had told after it happened. And then thirdly, she wrote it in a journal. All three of those things are hearsay.
I'm asking you to define hearsay.
Hearsay is someone says that it happens.
Okay. Okay. So I'd like to clarify here. Medical records from the 90s indicating that she had been raped by Trump is not hearsay. Consistency between her testimony and the testimony of 7 witnesses over the course of the next 20 years is not hearsay. Her submitting a address to the court of law claiming that it has Trump's DNA on it, then Trump refusing to provide his DNA to the court, claiming that it's not his, but he doesn't want to prove it, is not hearsay. See, this is the thing.
That is hearsay. If I go to someone and say that I did something and I say it to 7 people, that doesn't mean that it actually happened. It just means I told 7 people. That's one of the things that you said.
Okay, so if Trump was held civilly liable for the sexual abuse of a little girl, would you still vote for him?
No.
Okay, so your issue here isn't the standard of evidence that civil courts use.
Yes, it is.
One
Because
moment, Kaylee.
there
Let
could
me
be
speak.
ulterior- there could be- well, there could be ulterior motives.
Let me speak. Thank
Well,
you.
no, because I don't like
Oh my God.
the words you're about to put in my mouth.
I try to be nice, chat. I try to be so nice. I try to be so fucking nice. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to what I was saying. So yeah, you said that you would vote for Trump if he was held civilly liable for the rape of an adult, but you wouldn't vote for him if he was held civilly liable for the rape of a little girl. The issue here is this shows us that your problem is not the idea that civil courts do not prove things to have occurred to sufficient threshold, or else you wouldn't accept the civil court that would determine that he had raped a little girl. But your main issue here is you just don't think that him raping an adult woman is bad enough. I understand this is me putting words in your mouth, so maybe you could explain it to me. Why would you accept a civil court that would hold him liable for the rape of a little girl, but not a civil court that would hold him liable for the rape of an adult?
Sure, because kids are innocent beings. They don't have ulterior motives. If something came up where they made an accusation like that, then I would be completely alarmed.
Kids are innocent. Do you know how often I lie to my dad when I was a kid? I would lie to my dad about being on my phone late at night. He'd turn off the internet, and then I'd go into the internet room and I'd turn it back on. I'd lie to him about having my phone. I would lie to him about not being out with friends. I'd have a girl over when he was gone.
They have innocent mind. Yes, kids are innocent in my eyes. Yes, I don't believe
So you're just saying that Eugene Carroll was a liar.
I'm saying.
Yeah, thank you so much for the subscription. And Betsy, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo for the happy early birthday. Thank you so much for the love. But, just real quick, if kids are innocent.
I'm saying the case is based on hearsay.
And Jake, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo, saying no need to shout me out, but happy 20th birthday, man. You're amazing and deserve all the love and success that you're getting. Thank you so much for the love, Jake. Let's get some massive W's in the chat for Jake and Betsy. So you think that kids never lie?
No, I'm not. I'm saying kids are innocent. When it comes to something like sexual abuse, then yes, I don't think a kid would just make that up.
Katie Johnson was a kid. Katie Johnson accused Donald Trump of raping her. Did Katie Johnson make that up?
I'm saying that this case where he's civilly liable, I'm saying it's hearsay. That's all I'm saying is that it's hearsay.
Katie Johnson was a 13-year-old girl. Katie Johnson said that Trump raped her. Did Katie Johnson make that up?
I don't know anything about Katie Johnson.
She was a 13-year-old girl that said Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein imprisoned her, tortured her, and raped her. You are making the claim that children would never lie about sexual abuse.
I said it's more serious. I don't think they have
this
ulterior
child, Katie Johnson, wouldn't lie about sexual abuse. So do you accept Katie Johnson's accusations?
Did it go through the courts or anything?
She accused him, she brought it to court, and then she said that she got pressured in, so the charges were dropped.
So, who pressured her?
Who knows? Why is it relevant? You said that kids don't lie about this kind of stuff, so was Katie Johnson lying?
Well, she's pressured by people to do it, like people that she's comfortable with, and she's saying it didn't happen.
Fuck you. She never said it didn't happen. You know what? Honestly, Kaylee, fuck you. And I mean that. No way you're going to come on my live, say that kids would never lie about sexual abuse, and then turn around and
just said she felt pressured, so she dropped
she
it.
felt pressured into dropping the charge.
I'm saying I don't know enough about.
Hey, Kaylee, don't interrupt me.
Talking about.
You will have the chance to speak after I finish speaking. Do not interrupt me, okay? I will do that. I will allow you that same grace. I will not interrupt you. I will hold myself to the same standard. This goes both ways. We will not interrupt each other because I wanted to finish what I was saying. You said that specifically speaking, a little kid would never lie about sexual abuse. Katie Johnson, a little kid, a 13-year-old girl, specifically said that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein had raped her, imprisoned her, and tortured her. Do you accept Katie Johnson's accusations?
First of all, I did not say kids would never lie. I'll say that. I'm saying I don't know enough about the case, and you just said she felt pressured, so it got dropped. I don't know anything, so I can't speak on this specific thing. I'm speaking on the one that you keep bringing up, which was hearsay. And we can move on to the next topic if you'd like.
You're so gross.
How is that gross? You just said it got dropped because she felt pressure. How is that gross? There's not enough.
Because you just came up on my live. You did make the claim that a kid would never lie about being
I said they have no ulterior motives. Kids have no ulterior motives.
Okay. So you do accept. So all that you need to know is that a 13-year-old girl.
Kids can be pressured by adults or people that they trust. That is true. I don't know who she was pressured. I don't know who she was pressured by.
She was pressured to drop the case because she was scared about the repercussions.
I don't know the case. Again, I don't know the case. All I'm saying is you're saying she felt pressured.
Dude, the feeling pressured. Hey, Kaylee, listen to me. Maybe I could tell you, okay? Sweet. So she felt pressured to drop the case because she was receiving threats. She felt scared, so she dropped the case. Okay? I want to clarify. You have caught yourself in a contradiction.
No, I haven't.
Now, we're going to go ahead and repeat what has unfolded over the course of the last 10, 20 minutes here. So I asked you if you would vote for Trump if he was held civilly liable for the rape of a little girl. You said no. And your reason was, well, a little kid would never lie about being raped.
No. My responce was kids do not have ulterior motives.
Which equates to the kids.
No, it does not equate to what you're trying to say.
Okay,
it equates to kids do not have ulterior motives.
Okay, what's the difference between saying that you'd accept the civil court about Trump raping a little girl because a little girl wouldn't have an ulterior motive to accuse him of rape, and saying that because the kid wasn't lying?
Say that question one more time.
What's the difference between saying that a kid?
I'm not moving goalposts. I'm reading the comment. I'm not moving goalposts. My stance has been the same.
So you essentially said that you'd believe a kid if they accused an adult of raping them, right?
Yes.
So would you believe a kid, Katie Johnson, when she accused an adult Donald Trump of raping her?
Yes, but she dropped it, so it's hard to know what happened in that situation.
Okay.
It's hard,
so guys, this is a hypocrisy. This is, she stated her reason. She stated her reason in the court documents. She said that she was in fear of her life.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the case. Yeah, I'm going to side with the child. I'm going to side with the child at all times. But I don't know the case, so I can't agree with it.
Then you'd side with Katie Johnson, right?
She dropped it, so I'm siding with what she did. Everything
she dropped the case, and she gave a reason that she was scared for her life.
I have to look it up.
If it is the case that the reason she dropped the case was because she was getting threats and she was scared, would you believe Katie Johnson?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
But there was no case. And I don't think her name should be out there. She's only 13. I don't think her name should be out there. I don't think.
See, guys, this is the hypocrisy of the right. This is why like the MAGA voter base is so like.
I mean, because we want proof. Like, I don't know anything about this case, but this is going to keep going. My thing is,
So I just want to clarify. First, you said 1 second. Hey, Kaylee, shut the fuck up. First, you said that you'd believe any kid that accuses an adult of raping them, and now you're saying that this kid needs to provide proof.
I'm still saying that.
It's just so saddening. Like, especially when it has to do with little kids. I'm just so sorry, bro. Like, this shit actually angers me. Yeah, first it was believe all kids that accuse adults of raping them. Now it's Katie Johnson didn't have enough proof, all because she accused the chosen one. King, I appreciate you for the $25 on Venmo saying drop that piece of garbage. And Catherine, thank you for the $10 on Venmo saying birthday twin. Let's get some W's in the chat for King and Catherine. I really appreciate the both of you guys. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you, King and Catherine.
You're putting words in my mouth every time you move.
Are you driving right now?
I just turned my car on because it's hot.
Oh, no worries. Okay. So yeah, why are you voting for Trump?
His policies for one, and one other thing I wanted to bring up that's controversial is Roe versus Wade, and I've just been hearing you discuss it. I just think the policy, it needed tweaking. Like, it wasn't right. There was nothing protecting the children.
What?
There's nothing protecting, like, Roe versus Wade had no protection for an unborn child, fetus, whatever you want to call it. There was no protection at all. So I think something else needs to be in place, and that Roe versus Wade the terms weren't clear enough. Like, you could have an abortion. It was up to the state to allow abortion all the way up until past the 3rd trimester. So my thought is something else has to be in place.
I just want to like let you know. So yeah, states. So Roe v. Wade allowed states to like legislate on the legality of abortion in the 3rd trimester.
Yes. Correct.
And then after Roe v. Wade was overturned, what happened?
Everything got left to the states. So I'm saying something else has to be put in place because Roe versus Wade
states could still. So right now, after Roe v. Wade was overturned, states can still legislate on the legality of abortion in the 3rd trimester.
Correct. You're not listening to the rest of my statement. The rest of my statement is Roe versus Wade was overturned, but something else needs to be in place that protects unborn children and fetuses. That's it.
So do you think that Roe v. Wade should have been overturned?
I think that there should have been immediately something that should have been put in place that protects unborn children.
I'm just asking you if Roe v. Wade should have been overturned.
And I'm saying if I believe it if something else was put in place.
Then you're just not answering my question.
Yes, I am. If something else was put in place, I believe it was the right thing to do.
Okay, so was something else put in place?
I saw you have what you were saying to other people is they have no
Kaylee, was something
empathy.
else put in place?
No.
Okay, so then Roe v. Wade should have been
the thing that was put in place is giving it to the states. Now I believe something should be put in place to protect everybody, right? To protect people.
So are you pro-choice or pro-life?
Yes, I'm pro-choice.
You're pro-choice, but you're going to vote for Trump, the guy that elected 3 justices to the Supreme Court to strip away federal protections to access to abortion. Maybe your angle should be one moment, more interruptions. Take it away. Feel free, interrupt me. I don't care.
Okay, because I think, like you said in your other lives, that you believe in the rights of women. And I believe in the rights of women too, but I also believe in the rights of unborn children. I don't think it's right for people to get abortions in at certain levels.
Like what week would you say that we should cut off access to elective lethal abortions?
I would probably say between 6 and 8 weeks.
Okay, why?
Because I think that's during the 1st trimester. I just think it's the best time. I think that the child hasn't developed enough. The child or the fetus isn't developed enough to live on its own.
A fetus isn't developed enough to survive outside of the woman's uterus until the point of viability at about 20 weeks.
Correct.
So if you would care about the point of viability, which occurs at 20 weeks.
I'm not saying point of viability because there's already a heart rate. You're saying? I'm giving you the reasons. Then you say point of viability. I don't think that's the only reason not to have an abortion.
Okay, do you mind if I speak real quick?
Sure.
You said that we should cut off access to elective abortion at 6 through 8 weeks. I asked you why, and then you said because it has the ability to survive outside of the womb.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so why do you think that we should cut off access to elective lethal abortions at 6 to 8 weeks?
because I believe it gives women 8 weeks is like enough time for women to know that they could possibly be pregnant. And if you're having sex, then you should be cautious of the result that could come from having sex. So if you're late on your period, which is usually every 28 to 30 days, if you're a regular, then you would know if you missed your period. That gives you enough time to know if you missed your period. I think that it's important for women and men to be responsible if they have children and if they're having unprotected sex or if they're missing their period. We have to protect children just as much as we protect women.
So my frequent viewers will know this. I do something fun. I like to ask why people are pro-life, pro-abortion bans, and then I let them yap and ramble as much as they want. Because a good 75% of the time, it reduces down to one thing. And that one thing that it has reduced down to, Kaylee, is control over women who are engaging in particular actions in which Kaylee would deem is irresponsible. Pro-life legislation controls women, not men. Secondly, right, I think it is absolutely morally abominable for you to say that you care about the unborn, you are pro-life, you care about children, but in all reality, you are just using this as a virtue signal to hide your internalized misogyny. I just let you ramble insofar as why you believe that women should not have access to abortion after 6 to 8 weeks. Brit, thank you for the money gun. And all you talked about was the idea that, well, you should be cautious when you're engaging in sex. That gives the woman enough time. She needs to be more responsible. They should have used a condom. They should have been more preventative. They should have thought ahead. You know what? I am pro-choice because I care about life. You are pro-life because you care about controlling women. You want to force unwanted children into unready households of parents who you deem is irresponsible because you don't want them to be able to access healthcare to alleviate an unwanted pregnancy because you view that as a punishment and you think that punishment is just. And that is despicable. Cammie, thank you for the gym gun. In areas with pro-life legislation, thank you for the money gun as well, Britt, we see higher rates of poverty, lower rates of employment, lower rates of education, lower qualities of life. And all of this tells me that you are so dead set on the punishment of women for engaging in actions in which you personally deem as irresponsible, when in all reality, they just uphold different values and different values in the context of romance, intimacy, and sex than you do. Thank you for the money gun, Lisa. And Lisa, I appreciate you for the subscription. So then you want to turn around, punish them by forcing them to maintain pregnancy, forcing them to give birth to a child, and forcing that unwanted child in their household, which in turn punishes the child as well. You don't care about life. But go ahead, Kaylee. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, that's not, you just put a lot of words in my mouth. And then
Kurt, I appreciate you for the $10 on PayPal. So much for the love. Norman, thank you for the $10 on PayPal as well. I really appreciate you, Kurt and Norman. Y'all are awesome. Thank you guys so much. And Jazz, thank you for the $1 on Venmo. And Rosabelle, thank you so much for the $3 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. And then I also just wanted to point out that, yeah, no, most women don't know they're pregnant by 6 to 8 weeks.
But I'm saying if you're engaging in unprotected sex, or even if there's a possibility, you should be extra aware, honestly. But you did just put a lot of words in my mouth when you muted me, and you twist my words.
Caitlin, thank you for the $5 on Venmo as well. Hey, so if someone smokes cigarettes knowing that it runs the risk of lung cancer and they get lung cancer, should they be able to go to a medical health professional to terminate the life of that lung cancer?
They should take extra precautions to check their lungs regularly to know.
Yeah, no shit. Like I think people shouldn't smoke, just like I don't think that people should engage in intercourse without protection. Okay, we need to be engaging in sex safely. But
right. So what I'm saying,
wasn't my question. My question was, do you think individuals who do smoke should still be able to seek medical treatment to terminate the life of their lung cancer, or should they have to deal with the consequences of their actions? Thank you for the money gun, and Maureen, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Let's get some some W's in the chat for Maureen. Thank you for the $20. I really appreciate that. So answer my question, please.
I think there's stuff, isn't there, when you sign up for your insurance, they ask if you smoke or don't smoke?
Do you think that they should be legally allowed to seek medical treatment to terminate the life of their lung cancer? Please answer my question.
Do I think people with lung cancer should be able to seek treatment for lung cancer? Yes.
Oh, okay. So even though they knew the risk that they might get lung cancer when they smoke, they should still be able to seek medical treatment if they do get lung cancer. So even though a woman may know the risk of pregnancy when they're engaging in sex,
why should the precautions? If you're a smoker, you should still be taking the precautions of getting checked.
Maybe if you let me finish, I will get there, Kaylee. Right? The point that
you
this
don't let me finish, and then you twist my words, so it's.
The point that this analogy intends to prove is that the argument that women know the risk of sex to bear pregnancy, therefore they should be obligated to their pregnancy if it occurs, it falls apart because we shouldn't be obligating women to sustain a pregnancy just because they knew the risks. That's what we call a punishment, an unjust one, okay? And the analogy here would be, well, smokers know the risk of lung cancer if they smoke, but that doesn't obligate them to sustain the lung cancer. We as a society would still recognize the fact that if they get that lung cancer, they should still be able to go seek medical treatment, right? And your response here is, well, they should know the risks of smoking. They should be engaged in more preventative, cautious means to prevent the lung cancer. I agree with that 110%, just like I'd agree that we should be teaching individuals on how to engage in sex safer. We should have free forms of contraceptives. We should promote birth control. We should promote more education, and we should promote individuals engaging in sex safer 110%. Right? But the issue is the way to solve this is through education and better resources, not by banning the saving grace of an unwanted pregnancy, which is abortion. Okay? Like, promoting safe sex is not antithetical to a worldview in which allows women access abortion. Okay? And I think that is a recognition that is required for every single person watching this live to make. And this becomes so evidently clear in this analogy that I make to smoking, right? Because we'd say here, smoking is terrible, it's so bad for you, you shouldn't do it, but if you smoke and you get lung cancer, you should be able to go to the hospital. But then we should turn around and promote ads on the TV about getting people to not smoke. Very similarly, right, I think that engaging in unsafe sex is bad, that's something that we shouldn't do. We should be promoting more education to get people to engage in sex safer. But if anybody yields a pregnancy off of sex, regardless if it was safe or unsafe, they should still be able to seek medical treatment to terminate that unwanted pregnancy. Right, and that's not even recognizing the point that 54% of women who get elective abortions are doing so because of the failure of engaging in sex safely. But like that point's not even relevant here. Shayla, thank you so much for the $6.66 on Venmo from the Pro-Choice Squad. I appreciate you for the love. And Maureen, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo as well. Thank you so much for the love. Let's get some massive W's in the chat for Maureen. Thank you for the $20. I may have already given you a shout out, but I'm just going to give you two.
Up until what point do you believe in abortions?
Yeah, I think that elective lethal abortion should be legal until about 20 through 24 weeks with the development of the fetus's ability to deploy first-person subjective experiences. Prior to that point, I think that the fetus is an invaluable multicellular life form in which I don't really care about, nor should anyone else.
Well, it kind of sounds like we're
Elizabeth, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Elizabeth.
We're actually not that far apart on this thing, because I'm not saying I'm pro-life or I'm saying I'm pro-choice.
No, you're not.
I'm just think people have to speak for unborn children.
Yeah, Kaylee, you're like so
protecting
insufferable.
women.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, you haven't responded to any of my points. You haven't justified your position insofar
every
as
time
why
I
you
try
think
to
that women should be able to
respond,
get
you
abortions after
mute
6 to
me.
8 weeks.
Yes, I have.
Wait,
Maybe
okay, when did you
muted me and I didn't notice. But let me say this one more time. I am pro-choice. I believe that Roe versus Wade did not protect children because after the second and third trimester, they brought it to the states. I think something else has to be in place for Roe versus Wade because it did not protect children past the first trimester. I'll even put it at 12 past the first trimester. I think it should not be an option to abort.
So then you turn around and you want to give the states the abilities to restrict
No,
all
I
women,
think
including
something
victims of
else
rape from
needs-
excess
yeah, I
intercourse. Then that's what should have happened. I agree with you. I don't think that
Okay, so we're
elective
on the
lethal.
same page
We're not
here.
on the same page here,
Listen,
Kaylee.
you just
The
agreed
reason that we're
something
not the reason that we're not on the same page here is although while I may agree that elective lethal abortions like after 20 through 24 weeks are murder and shouldn't be legal, that doesn't account for literally any abortion, right, that has ever been gotten. If you could point me towards one scenario of a woman getting an elective abortion in the third trimester, that would be phenomenal. I've never found one. And then second of all, the way that we resolve that is it by overturning the federal shut the fuck up and let me finish.
allowed.
The way that dude, are you going to let me finish? Or are you going to continue to be insufferable, continue to
me
interrupt me,
off.
and continue not to let me make a
You
single
cut
point
me
on this
off.
live? So you're going to justify your wrongdoing from a wrongdoing of me? How about we have a productive two-way conversation where we don't interrupt each other? How about that? Does that work? Great. Thanks. Kaylee, can you give me an example of one single woman under Roe v. Wade getting an elective lethal abortion in the third trimester?
It's
One
allowed. HIPAA won't allow me to discuss that because it's not allowed to.
That's right, you can't. So I'm going to go and continue what I was saying. Do not interrupt me or you will be kicked from this live. I hope I make that clear, okay? So yes, okay. Under Roe v. Wade, it allows the states the ability to legislate freely on access to abortion in the third trimester after 20 through 24 weeks. That's a fact, right? And I think that like abortions in that third trimester after about 20 through 24 weeks, especially elective lethal ones, are going to be murder. They are morally wrong. I absolutely hold to that position. But I think the way to resolve this isn't to overturn the federal protections that we're allowing victims of rape and all 170 million American women in the first trimester and the second trimester to seek abortions. The way to resolve this is by going to Congress and pushing for a congressional legislation to first federally protect access to abortion in the first and the second trimester before 20 through 23 weeks, and then turn around and institute a federal ban on elective lethal abortions after that point, right? That's the correct response, okay? The correct response isn't to overturn the only form of federal protection, right? Ensuring a woman's access to healthcare during that first and second trimester, where I don't think that anything is wrong with it, especially including the victims of rape. And that is your issue, okay? And I don't think I could get this past your dense fucking mind because for some fucking reason you can't understand this. Like, I just want it to be evidently clear. Like, apparently Kaylee, right, sees an issue with Roe v. Wade allowing for elective lethal abortions in the third trimester. Okay, she sees that as shit. So her way to resolve this shit is to push it back to the states, which, by the way, still allows for that shit because pushing it back to the states allows states to legislate on the access to the abortion in the third trimester, but then to add a whole lot of other shit in there, like denying victims of rape access to abortion, denying any woman access to lethal elective abortions before 20 through 24 weeks. This is not the way you resolve this. You are causing more harm, okay?
Thanks. I did answer it before you muted me, and then you muted me saying I couldn't answer it. That's for one. But it sounds like we kind of agree on the point that there should be something else in place because Roe versus Wade did not protect.
But this doesn't give you reason to vote for Trump because he doesn't want anything else in place. If anything, the one thing he would want in place is a federal ban on abortion.
So Trump actually came out and he did say he believes that there should be special cases allowed. So he did come out and say that.
Yeah, the 1% for grape, incest, and SA, and like medical exceptions. That doesn't account for like the elective lethal abortions that should be allowed.
Anyways, it seems like you just keep twisting my words about what we're saying, so we can move on to the next thing. If you
No, I don't want to move on to the point because you're not responding to a damn thing that I'm saying.
I mean, I am. You honestly are agreeing with what I'm saying, is that there's not enough.
No, you're so delusional if I think that you're fucking agreeing. You're so delusional if you think I'm agreeing with you.
So you mute me, and then I try to talk.
Oh my God, let's get some
off.
baby bottles in the chat for the whiner.
What do you... You keep cutting me off, and then when I try to respond to you, you cut me off or mute me. So what we are agreeing on is that Roe versus Wade did not protect children, and something else should have been in place. Meaning Roe versus Wade.
Hey, Kaylee, what reason does this give you to vote for Trump?
Because I don't think the case about Roe versus Wade is enough not to vote for Trump. Because I think he was trying to protect
denying
children.
65,000 victims of rape in the state of Texas over the last 2.5 years access to abortion isn't reason enough. Denying all 170 million American women and girls, right, specific access to elective lethal abortions when it is not immoral to do so isn't bad enough. Having 23 states where women have restricted access to abortion and 12 states where they have none, including if they are a victim of rape, isn't good enough reason. You know, ensuring that women in the state of California have different access to healthcare than women in Alabama isn't good enough reason. You're fucking delusional when you call yourself pro-choice, because if you cared about access to abortion, if you cared about access to healthcare, if you cared about women's rights, then you would not be saying that stripping away federal protections for these things and rescinding it back to the state, leading to the abortion bans in which we've seen, isn't reason enough. What does that outweigh? What overrules him overturning Roe v. Wade? You recognize this as being a bad thing. Okay, what is a good thing about Trump that overrules and outweighs this bad thing?
It's protecting more unborn children in the second and third trimesters.
Okay, all right. You've already demonstrated how you have absolutely no good reason to say that women shouldn't be able to access elective abortions after 6
I literally just said it. It protects more unborn
Why shouldn't a woman be able to get an elective abortion
voices.
at 15 weeks? Why shouldn't a woman be able to get an elective abortion at 15 weeks?
Because it gives a woman enough time to understand if she's pregnant or not pregnant. If you're having unprotected sex, you know, yes, you get your period every 4 weeks. What?
So why shouldn't a woman be able to get an elective abortion at 15 weeks?
Because there's a heartbeat.
Oh, so you care about a heartbeat. Okay. When
That's
was the last
part
time
of the reason you're getting.
I have a question. I have a question. So when was the last time you ate a hamburger?
I don't eat meat.
Oh, why not?
Because it upsets my stomach.
Okay, but do you think that there's anything wrong with eating meat?
If someone wants to eat meat, they can eat meat.
Do cows have heartbeats?
Yes.
Okay, so why does a human's heartbeat matters but a cow doesn't?
A cow eating is a form of livelihood.
Okay, so
They're
if
trying
mother
to
were to get an
protect.
abortion then eat the fetus, that'd be permissible?
Sorry, what? They can eat the placenta if they want.
So you said that the human, like the fetus, was valuable after it has a heartbeat. Why is a heartbeat valuable?
It's the start. I mean, at 15 weeks, there's more development than just a heartbeat, right?
I'm asking you to tell me why a heartbeat is valuable. Why is it wrong for a woman to get an abortion after the fetus has a heartbeat, but it's not wrong before it has a heartbeat?
Let me rescind what I was saying. I think I'm saying first trimester now.
Okay, what happens in the development of a fetus that makes it immoral to get an abortion?
You have a personal responsibility to understand what's going on. That's enough time for you to know if you are pregnant or not.
Why is it immoral for a woman to abort a fetus at 15 weeks? You have yet to answer the single
Yes, I
fucking
did,
question.
because I've answered it. This is my third time now. Because 15 weeks is enough time to understand if you are pregnant or not.
Oh, so it has nothing to do with the value of the fetus. So you're pro-controlling women. Got it, right? Because see, this is the issue with this view. You don't care about like the life or the sanctity of the life of the fetus. You're all about limiting and controlling women, placing your arbitrary standard on what is or isn't enough time for them to access healthcare. You don't care about the life of the unborn. You care about controlling the lives of the women.
No, I don't.
Then explain to me why your reason why it's immoral for a woman to get an abortion at 15 weeks
Because
has
I'm
nothing to
trying
do with
to
the value of the
because
fetus and all to do with the
it's
actions of the
giving
mother.
It's giving women time.
Yes, no, Kaylee, answer my question. Answer my question. If you're not pro controlling women, then why is your reason why it is immoral to get an abortion at 15 weeks have nothing to do with the value of the fetus and all to do with the value with the actions of the mother? Answer that question. If it's not about like controlling women, answer that question.
Every time I try to answer the question, you just mute me. So it's getting very frustrating and we're talking in circles. It's not going anywhere.
Answer my fucking question, Kaylee.
I have
If it's about controlling women, if it is about controlling,
You want me to answer
Kaylee,
for the
listen to
fourth
my
time.
words.
It is
Listen to
giving
my words.
women enough time to understand if they are pregnant.
You are so
That is
fucking
enough
dense. This is
time.
insane. You're not listening to my damn question. Listen to my question.
And I just answered it for the fourth time.
Hey,
It gives
Kaylee.
women enough time to understand if they are
Hey,
pregnant.
Kaylee, I'm gonna go to and ask
No,
my
it's
question.
frustrating. You keep
Kaylee,
muting me, talking over me. No, you're telling me to calm.
Baby
You are
bottles in
so
the chat.
frustrated.
Baby bottles in the
No,
chat.
I
I'm
gotta
gonna
get
go.
off.
Oh yeah, so now you run away because you can't defend your position.
about
There we got it,
controlling
folks. There we got it, folks. There we got it, folks. She's gonna run away because she can't defend her position. That's what happens every single time. Okay, I've asked you the same question repeatedly now, and you have not been able to answer. You said the reason it is wrong for a woman to get an abortion at 15 gestational weeks is because she quote unquote had enough time to get the abortion by then. So my question to you is, well, if your reasoning insofar as why you think they shouldn't be able to access healthcare isn't because you want to control the woman, well then tell me why the reason you think it's wrong isn't about the value that the fetus has, but it's rather about the actions that the mother has taken. Like, I feel like that's a big difference. If you truly weren't like pro-controlling women, well then the reason...
It's a
Listen
little...
to my words. Listen to my words, Kaylee.
It's a little hypocritical talk about controlling women as you put me on mute, right?
The reason that I'm putting you on mute has nothing to do...
4 times.
Kaylee, the reason I'm putting you on...
We're talking about controlling women and you mute
Kaylee,
me.
can I speak real quick? The reason that I'm putting you on mute has nothing to do with your gender identity or what's in between your legs, and it has all to do with your incredible level of denseness, your inability to let me speak or to answer a question, okay? And if you've watched my lives before, you know that I treat a man the same way, okay? It has nothing to do with your gender identity or what's in between your legs. Now, to go into the question that you've not answered this entire time,
I've answered it 4 times now.
Kaylee, with all due respect, you have not answered my question. May I please ask you my question so you can answer it? If you continue to be this, you haven't... Kaylee, stop talking. And let me... What is this fucking shit? Look at this shit. This is why I mute you, Kaylee.
I don't need to hear it again.
Kaylee, what is my... Okay, Kaylee, what is my question?
I'm saying 15 weeks.
Kaylee, what is my question?
Your question is.
Look at this shit, chat.
You think you think that it's not about the development of the fetus? The question is about the development of the fetus. And
you obviously don't know the question.
I do. I don't know the exact way you worded it.
Hey,
You're wondering why I'm basing it on 15-week or the first trimester when I can't talk.
Kaylee,
you
calm
just
down.
asked me to answer your question. I'm answering it. You literally asked me why I'm putting it on the woman to know and controlling her body and when it is if it has nothing to do with the fetus. That is the question. Correct?
I'm going to repeat my question now. I hope that you listen. So my question for Kaylee, stop. Please, for the love of God. Thank you. So my question once again is, your reason why you think that an elective abortion at 15 weeks is immoral is specifically because you said that a woman has had enough time to get an abortion prior to that point. My response to this was saying that you are not pro-life, you are pro-control. You said that that's wrong. So my question in return to that was, if you are not pro-control, then why does the reason you think an abortion at 15 weeks is immoral have nothing to do with how valuable you think the life of the fetus is, and has all to do with the actions that the mother partook in?
Well, yeah, literally you just said a long version of what I just repeated back to you.
May you please answer the question, Kaylee?
Yes. Like I said, this is the 6th time I'm responding to this question. It gives 15 weeks, or the first trimester truly gives the woman enough time without taking her rights away and still considering the development of the fetus and the child within her.
So this is not an answer to my question.
Yes.
And the reason I'm saying that this is not an answer to my question is because you know what? Chat, should we even keep it going?
No,
is it even
I
worth
feel
it?
like it's no, I don't think this part keeps going in circles.
Because you are fucking dense. Because you're fucking dense, Kaylee. We're gonna try one more time. We're gonna try one more time with Kaylee.
You muting me.
If
Look,
you
really, you can even look at your comments. Everyone's saying you're muting me. Like
I just see everyone asking me to drop you right now.
Then drop me, but you keep muting me. That's fine if you want to drop me, but if you can't.
So you are pro-controlling women because the reason that you are pro-life has nothing to do with life or the value of the fetus and has all to do with you wanting to control the access to healthcare of the woman. You don't care about the value of the life of the fetus. You don't care about its human development. You care about arbitrarily placing a standard on all 170 million American women and girls to quote-unquote access abortion with enough time. That is why you're pro-control. And you know that this will only prevent more women from being able to access abortion. Most women don't even know that they're pregnant until about 68 weeks, which was the dates in which you said that access to abortion should be cut off at. And placing further limitations or restrictions on when that open window of access should be without giving a care for the value of the fetus and rather saying they've already had enough time only serves to further prevent more women from accessing abortion. Hi, Jake. I appreciate you for the subscription.
Okay, so I think we've one of the last things I want to say, and if you would take time.
Yeah, look at that. No response. No fucking response. Look at that shit, chat. They can't handle the facts. That is the issue with the MAGA cultists, is they cannot handle the facts. They can't. They can't handle the facts, guys. They'll never be able to. Give it away. Run away. Run away. Run away. Run away. Hey,
Y'all ready?
All right, by the way, guys, we have about another 20 minutes on the live here tonight before I do have to get off and go to that family dinner with my dad for the birthday. So we're going to go and get our last debate of the night up in the box literally right now, chat. So let's go and get that done. If you've been enjoying today's live stream, make sure to hit that follow button, y'all. We are going to go ahead and get our next guest up in the box literally right now, guys. So everyone just give us 1 minute. This will be our last guest of the night. So let's see who we got here. Let's go and get our next guest up in here right now. We got Mark loading into the queue. Make sure to hit that follow button if you haven't already. We are going to see what our next guest has to say. If you are MAGA, make sure to let me know in the chat. What's up, Mark? How old are you? Mark, are you on the live?
Hey, Dean.
Hey, what's up, man? Are you voting for Trump?
I think so.
Okay, why so?
I think
also,
so.
I appreciate everyone in the chat saying happy birthday. Okay, why's that?
I don't know, actually. I think I'm still undecided, to be honest with you. I'm kind of
Okay, would you ever vote for someone that's been held civilly liable for violent sexual abuse?
So that whole thing, that's the one where it was like a civil court, right? I mean, somebody came and said he did something to them and they went to court and it wasn't criminal, right?
I'm just going to talk to someone that is decided. Because, like, my background says, why are you voting for Trump? When I, like, have an undecided, quote-unquote, voter hop in the queue, I usually just try to ask him a question. But since we only have, like, another 10 minutes, we're going to go ahead and try to get someone up here that definitely is voting for Trump. And, yeah, guys, if you'd like to support me in the last 10 minutes of the stream here, my Venmo, my PayPal are in my bio. Thank you so much for the You're Amazing. I get 100% of the proceeds on those platforms. What's going on, man? Are you voting for Trump?
Love you, bro. Love you, Dean. Happy birthday.
JP, thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much, man. W's for JP down below. I appreciate you for the love. I think you've actually popped up before. I appreciate you, man. Massive W's for JP. Thank you so much, man. He's always here. I recognize his name when I got him up here. Hey, what's up? Are you voting for Trump? Hello? All right, they're not here. All right, honestly, Chad, I think that we're just going to go ahead and end the stream there. It'll give me a little bit extra time to go shower before the dinner with my dad. So, hey, for the 4.7 thousand people in here, tomorrow's my birthday. And I'm going to be doing a stream on my birthday, same time, same morning. Y'all already know. I'd love to see you all there. Make sure to pull through. Make sure to hit that follow button on your way out, too. Appreciate everyone for the happy early birthdays. I'm really looking forward to it. I'll finally be 20. 21 is going to be a bit bigger of a birthday, though. So, yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for the birthday stream. I'm looking forward to it. All right. I love you all. Make sure to go give Parker